Fold. Heads up. First up. Check. One check. Check round. First up. Six bets, 150.
Hello, hello. Yeah. Test. Test.
Yeah, I think we're live.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're sitting down here. My name's Didier Guerin. I'm here with Angel Guillen. I'll be doing the English commentary today, and he'll be doing the Spanish.
First of all, say your name in French.
Didier Guerin. Say yours
Yes.
in, I was going to say Mexican for a second, but I'll say Spanish.
Yeah. Good one. Angel Yen.
Okay, so it's easy for the viewers at home. Just two very foreign names in an Australian tournament. Hey guys, we're coming in to have some banter and comment about the 10K. A lot of well-known players from Australia here on the tour. We've got Naj, who seems to final table whatever he wants these days, and he always has all the chips.
What a legend.
I know, right? That chip stack was absolutely amazing that we saw in the photos last night. We've got one of Angel's close friends here. Maybe you want to lead in the preview there, my friend.
Yes, Andres, Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, that's what people call him here in Sydney, I've heard.
Yeah?
Yeah, close friend. We spend a lot of time. We talk poker so much. He's been, on the rise. Obviously, he's been performing so well in this final table. I think people at home can agree with me. And yeah, so excited to see him, battle.
No, it's amazing to have a close friend on a final table like that. I've been there before recently in a certain tournament with my friend Adrian Attenborough.
Yeah.
It's super exciting, man. And I've known Luke Edwards since I was like 18 or 19. He was one of the OGs, man.
Such a cool guy as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, like back in the day, he was just like winning every 20K when he came to Sydney. There was like a period of like 2 or 3 years where I think he won like 3 20Ks.
Oh, wow.
And since retired into stardom as a crypto bro.
Yeah.
He just comes back for the big ones, Oh, yeah, I'll flick a tournament.
Just for fun.
Yeah,
just for fun.
Just
on final table.
remind the boys what you can do.
Yeah, Phil got it.
Admittedly, I don't know the two other players as well, but I did play with one of the gentlemen in the 25K, and I thought he played very well.
Which guy?
Seat 6.
Okay.
I do have to confirm the names. Apologies, we've just been thrown in here. So,
Chowdown. Oh,
yes.
No, you're talking about
yeah,
right?
Hao Zhan, if that's how I pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm not on point with my pronunciation. Interesting hand here. He's jammed. 20 bigs. What do you think here?
So open and goes all in with king queen. I'm okay with it. 20 bigs, putting a lot of pressure on the opener. We should be opening quite wide, let's say.
A lot of these decisions really do matter based on the other stack sizes at the table. So as we sit down and have a look at this,
Yeah, let's look at the stack sizes. We can.
looks like he's playing about 800k if I'm eyeballing it.
Right, and guy that open.
So I think he's the short stack, right?
Right.
It's
so
definitely more
less-
credible to do as the short stack.
Yeah, less pressure for him for sure. Just to get it in. There's no short stacks besides him, so makes sense.
We should have views of the chip counts coming up as we see them now.
1.6.
5 folding.
Oh,
Oh baby. Ladies.
I'd probably play this hand, Angel.
Yeah, why not?
I'd think about it.
See a flop.
Let's go.
Boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh well.
Solid.
I'd probably 2x myself personally, especially with aggressive players behind him.
Well, that's a big jam, guys. That's 20, no more. The big one is 30k, so he jammed effectively around 33 bigs.
25, yeah?
Oh, 2040 we are. Yes,
Yeah.
you are right. 25 bigs.
Still, big.
No, he's done with the hand. He doesn't want to, you know.
Yeah.
You want to call? You want to call?
You want to call?
And Nash seems that has a decision.
Oh, he's made.
Wow.
As Luke funnily says there, it's about time you wake up with one. I think making a joke that Naj has all the chips. Wow, nines. Pretty reasonable. Oh my
And
goodness.
He did wake up with one.
Eddie with kings. Naj with nines.
Jeez.
Wow.
I should not play queens. Why I play queens? Such an ICM spot.
Wow.
Oh, you heard it from his own mouth. Such an ICM spot.
He was a little slow with it, but what I mean. Wow. Fuck.
No more bets.
No memo.
It's crazy.
No
Bob.
memo.
The
No
nine
memo.
gets 2 players eliminated. Let's see if Nash can pull some magic here. He needs some straight cards on the turn.
Whoa. 7 9 2 close.
9 or
So
so.
close.
West.
Ooh. That's a big one for Luke Edwards. He's now the outright chip leader by a long way and has become the favorite to take this down now. He's got 110 big blinds.
Why I didn't do so? So many
Well, I should say one player's being eliminated now, right? So four-handed. Wow.
Yeah, pretty unlucky setup. For pocket queens, obviously. I think either way he plays a hand, he's going to be eliminated.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
One of those ones where you can go home and be like, it just didn't really matter what I did at the end of the day. I liked Luke's call with kings. I approve.
Yeah.
I bet all the queens.
But seriously, being Luke, what do you call with? What's your worst hand to call there?
I would have to just examine how big Naj's jam was. I think it was 1.9 or something like that. Oh, no, Luke was the effective stack, so I think it was like, that's just all in the call for like 35. No, just under, yeah, just under 40 big ones.
41 is 1.6 mil, right? 40 big jam. Effective. It might be, it's funny because it might be exactly kings. Like you fold jacks.
I guess like you have to consider is Naj calling a little bit looser
Yeah.
than most, maybe by like a pip or something, but I wouldn't say too much.
Yeah, but he's still gonna have like aces, kings,
Yeah, of course.
queens. So if you have jacks, I think we'd have to put it in the bin.
Yeah, you might be right, honestly. I was thinking I'd still probably find it with queens. It's a tough spot with jacks.
I think you have to put queens in the bin as well.
Yeah.
That might sound crazy, but you know, we can run this spot later on. Or someone can run it at home and tell us what is the math on that hand.
Yeah, we need to employ someone to do that for us while we're on commentary.
Yeah.
Anyway, a big change in the chip stacks. It'll be interesting to see how Luke Edwards uses the stack now.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty solid from what I've seen. I did see him triggering
I was waiting for you,
6-8 suited from small blind versus cut off, I think. But other than that, he's been, you know, he's getting
Solid.
a lot of good hands.
Wow, we got another collision right away.
Uh-oh.
I think this is going in.
Yeah, and I don't think Nash is going to move the fold in. So
No.
he just calls here. Let's see what he does. All the options.
That would be the way to avoid this going all in. Generally speaking, against Naj's button range here, I think nines should be finding at least a 3-bet, if not an all-in, fairly often. I believe he's the short stack now as well. I mean, look at them, they're dead even.
They are.
I can definitely understand him thinking about both options here. I'd take my time. Also, don't know how much he's played with Naj. We've obviously had the benefit of playing for more than a decade with him. The great man. No, it's just a difficult hand to play if he does choose a size that's not all into 3-bit. Naj will be peeling.
He only calls.
Wow. Playing it.
Choosing the safe route.
Yeah, that's interesting. And this board's probably going to kill most of the action. We would imagine it's going to be played slow now.
Just a reminder, all point players in the national championship blinds are 300, 600 with 600 big blind ante. That's all fucking dealers.
You may even fold here. I mean, we have the 9 of diamonds.
The 9 of diamonds against a 1/3, even third pair by a turn. Oh my gosh! Wow, it's a very carefully played pocket nines.
I had a good hand.
The most aggressive player has found it.
I'm just too deep to jam.
So Andres was actually the short stack there. Though. That's important to note.
That's why I just hold it off. Yeah, if I sweep, I have to hold it off with my hand.
Pretty close though. 1.4. You guys with 1.6. Not naturally a little bit
What do you have?
above that.
Me too.
And
Then I have you dominated.
look, with all the chips.
No.
There's 9 million chips in play,
But fucking not.
guys. So he has.
They're telling each other what they had.
Yeah.
Wow. But if I jam, he's not calling, right? Yeah, 40 big blind, he's not calling.
Naj is saying
Nice-
no,
nice
and we're both
slide.
shaking like, nah, Naj is calling, bro.
I don't want to jam like 40 big blind with Maj.
See, he's bluffing outside of the hand. Very important skill.
He never stops.
Never stops. Yeah,
bluffing.
he just can't stop. Told me he was wearing the glasses to look cool, and then he took them off, and I saw the state of his eyes.
For race 8,000.
He's got some very red eyes this week, so don't usually see Naj wear the glasses.
Pink eye. They
Pink eye? Oh, I
But if
see.
I sweep back, we just both jam, 4-bet jam with ace.
Not fun.
How often does Andres wear
Wait, wait,
glasses?
Not often that I can remember. FT, I think FT is.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen him wear them before.
I like FT glasses, you know, especially when
I
you
see
have
you
like
wearing them
these-
fairly often.
Yeah, when you have
Yeah.
like these super, like, very strong lights above you.
I'm sure people at home would be interested, you know, like, I think I've seen you wearing the reflective ones as well. Do you ever, like, get afraid that they're going to show something?
Nah,
No?
to be honest, no. I don't go too low. You know?
Honestly, I reckon there'd be a lot of people watching at home right now who do wear glasses and just be wondering about, like, under the lights on a stream on a
Right.
final table, if you ever do worry about that. I don't wear them personally, so I can't comment.
Seat for race 80,000.
Now open every hand, huh?
Still talking about it, I think.
I think he was saying to Luke, oh, now you open every hand, huh?
Okay.
10, then ace 10.
As he should with the ace 10 O, easy take for Luke, increasing the chip lead.
Yeah, I haven't seen as much of Luke Edwards as we used to, you know. I think he's been in the crypto streets a lot the last couple of years.
Those are exciting streets. Dangerous. but very
Dangerous.
exciting.
Yeah, some people never come back to poker.
Yeah, if you did it right, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah. I think they were talking about Bitcoin going up by, I can't remember what percentage it was the other day during the 25K. And Luke was one of the boys joking, oh, I got another buy-in.
What a life. Kings versus queens and nines now enjoying the chip lead. Let's see if you
That's
can,
45,000.
you know, capitalize on that advantage. it's hard to root for someone in Australian and final tables. 'Cause they're all very cool guys in general.
Right,
you know?
yeah. Thought you were going to say something else for a second there. These damn Australians. Can't beat any of them. No, you're right. Honestly, there are a lot of very nice people on this table who are well known in the poker community,
Yeah.
who are well loved. So it is hard to pick a favorite when they're just all so nice.
4 bets, 75,000.
By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll do our best. Angel and I have often joked about doing a call-in show.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, it's happening?
It's happening.
That's your billion-dollar idea, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we can reveal all the specifics of
Oh, right.
the
Okay.
channel.
Okay.
Are we keeping it
Under the belt.
PG-15 or?
PG-15? Oh boy, we're going to struggle. I just noticed this comment from about 12 minutes ago by Johnny Kuranji. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your surname correctly, sir, but if you go back, Naj built something similar with his chips, and we called it the Naj Mahal. Oh, I think I know Lynn Gilmar. Do you know her?
I know that
do you
baby.
know her, Ralph?
I know that baby.
You know that baby? It's a good-looking baby, honestly.
Good-looking baby,
It's a very
yeah.
good-looking baby.
Good looking baby. They make good babies. I must say.
Of course, I'm joking. The lovely Lynn Gilmartin, host of the World Poker Tour. Good friend of mine, slightly better friend of Angel, his partner, and his baby in the picture.
Hey, babe. Love you.
Me too. Slightly less.
4 bets, 40,000.
Right, so here, small versus big. Went limp, check. Now Luke taking the lead, betting with his gut shot. Good turn for him.
Had the backdoor clubs as well. That option's dried up, and we see spades. Interested to see how he proceeds with this particular hand. I would imagine we're finding a check. Yeah. Not necessarily afraid of the king, just kind of pot controlling when in position. Sorry, the big blind Chow does have more flushes than Luke has.
5,000. Check round.
Still playing very carefully here, Chow.
Ooh,
Wow.
that is for Luke.
Hard to find too many hands that the 8 of club improves here, so it's going to be very hard for Eddie to not lose money here. The 8-3 is just, wow, that's a disguised hand in a limp pot.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Chow is going to raise these, depending, I guess, on the size.
I don't
Luke.
think he will based on the way he played nines,
Yeah,
if I had to make a prediction.
I agree
I
with
kind
you.
of like Luke's value bet with queen, though.
Yeah, let's see how much he bet. 130, 100, so I think it's always a call here.
Yeah, I personally like a call. That's the, look at Luke's face, that's the, he has the 8-3? Really? Not that Chow did anything wrong, it's just a very disguised hand. And look at that, every pot's so important now, putting Andres firmly fourth now. I say firmly here, it's like a 10 BB difference.
Yeah.
But that matters a lot when we're thinking about how to play hands on a final table
It
tournament.
does. Covering people really matters at this stage, right?
Mhm.
Did you have a spade?
Yeah, every pot is very, very important. Every
Red
BB
black, though.
counts a lot.
Suited black.
Right. Nice with pocket sevens. First to act.
Well in range from my man.
C2 raise, 85,000.
Not the queen, though. Obviously.
Chow thinking about something with Jack-9 off in the small blind. No?
5,000.
And my man Andres. Just doing what he does. Taking a few seconds
Little think.
to fold his hand.
Aiden coming in to check on us. Hey, mate. Where does this sit in Andres' list of career caches? It must be, I mean, if he wins this, I would imagine it might be his biggest score, right?
Yeah, it will definitely be. And he doesn't play many big buy-ins, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has played maybe another 2 or 3 10Ks and 5Ks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so not many at all. Wow,
Yeah.
that would be fantastic for him then. I know he won an event at was it the WPT
Yes.
maybe last year, not this year?
He was, I think, last year, 20.
Yeah. It was the 550 or something.
Yeah.
So for him to be playing a tournament 20 times the size of that is a fantastic mark of progress for someone who I know works really hard on their game. I love when
and I think he's ready. You know, like obviously when you first
he looks ready.
put your feet in these waters, it doesn't feel like very natural, and it's very understandable that, you know, going from playing 500 buy-in tournaments to playing a 10K could be intimidating, of course, when you first start doing it. But I think he's ready. I think he has what it takes. He's well studied. He has been working on his game, you know, for a while. It's a guy that wakes up every morning, 4 a.m., 3 a.m. to play, you know, on GG and various online sites. And when his session is done, he's going to study the spots, you know, every day. When you play every day and study every day,
The results
this is
come.
what happens.
That's fantastic to hear, man. I love
Yeah.
to hear that insight about people working hard and getting rewarded for it. It's so nice.
Definitely. And obviously, you know, making a final table of this tournament gives you a lot of confidence. It doesn't mean that you are, like, if he wins this tournament, for example, it doesn't mean that he's already at his highest level. Or if he loses now, or if he doesn't make the final table, it doesn't mean that he's not ready for it.
Depending on
He's ready because he's taking good decisions,
Yeah.
as he has been showing in this final table, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little bit, you know, when you win, you feel like you're playing really good, and when you don't win, you feel like maybe I'm not playing that well.
Yeah.
Can be tricky. Can be tricky. Both winning and losing can be not your friends if you're not, you know, taking into consideration what really matters, which is
That's how you
the
win
decisions
tournament. Just pins,
Yes.
pins, pins,
that you're
pins,
taking.
pins,
You know, and you gotta be
Simple, simple.
in full awareness of your mistakes, if any, and things that you're doing well as well, right? That's what it's all about.
You're so right, honestly. I think one of the hardest skills and most important skills is to understand when you play well and get unlucky, or when you play bad and you get lucky. And sometimes it's easy to not think about your players when you're winning, and you might have done some terrible things, you know, like you might have made huge mistakes, but because you won, you don't think about them. And then sometimes you do everything right and you still lose. And poker can really mess with your head until you sort of adjust to have that expectation, I feel. It's not a very intuitive way to go about most things in life, and nor should you. You know, results are generally the mark of success, whereas in poker they actually can't be. And I know there's a lot of people watching right now who have had bad beats on final tables or getting close to final tables, and they will have thought they did everything right. But everyone's making mistakes, and it's those little mistakes that you can work on, whether you're winning or losing, and you will find ways to improve, whether it's talking hands with people or just taking advantage of the amazing range of software and training sites that we have in 2023. There are options for people.
Yeah, and you know when it's the most important time for you to go back and see what you did and find mistakes?
When?
It's when you're winning.
Yeah.
When you're winning, because when you're winning, it's when you're the most complacent, right? Like
Exactly.
You're thinking, oh, I'm doing everything right, you know, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is your ego telling you, or whatever story that you are, you know, painting for yourself, we're all humans, we all do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not that you're being delusional. It's very natural to feel confident and strong when you win. But right in that moment is when you have to look back and reflect and be very aware of, are my decisions sound? Am I making good plays? Or do I think that I'm playing good without evidence?
I completely agree. I'm actually really looking forward to having the ability to watch back my final table from the other day when I get home and sort of review my play. I think it's really important, you know, regardless of winning it, I know I made mistakes on that final table. Overall, I'm happy with how I played, but I think it's important not to just be like, yeah, you know, did it, brah. Like, you want to go back and really break down the things that you did right and that you did wrong. And I think that's part of, if you do this for a living, something you have to put into your study regime is the review regime.
And even if you're not playing for a living, you know, like, there's so many
Yeah, good point.
guys here that are just playing because they really they really love the game. You know, they love the competition. If they want to improve, you want to improve, you gotta look back. You know, you gotta like talk to your friends, talk hands over. You know, talk to people that play poker better than you. You know, so
Making me harder.
you can learn faster at a faster rate. You
Yeah.
know? All those things are very, very important
I
for
don't
your
mind,
game
like,
to keep up, keep
just give me
improving.
100K.
Absolutely.
Just keep doing it, bro.
Want to know of it?
Yeah. Like, so I keep.
Now you tell myself.
I don't mind. I don't mind how cheap you want to bluff it. Just keep doing it. As long as going covered.
What's up for you next on your personal poker schedule, NL?
So I'm definitely going to Vegas for World Poker Tour Championship.
Same.
The 40 million guarantee, such an exciting tournament. We have $40 million US
insane.
dollars guarantee, which is what, like 64 AUD? Like that?
AUD, I think it's in billions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kangaroo dollars.
And yeah, so I'm doing that, and I might do Florida just
Interesting.
before.
I've never done
November.
that.
Florida's the best.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I've heard good things.
Yeah, very big and, you know, fun fields. That's what I would call them.
Are you going to do WSOP Australia? Because you live in the Gold Coast.
Right. I don't think I will, because I have to be in Vegas by the 28th, something like that. I think
Okay.
it
Yeah, that
clashes
makes sense.
Saturday.
Oh, yes. You're actually a WPT ambassador as of
I am.
lately. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Representing a huge brand like that.
I know. I'm so happy. And it's been so fun
Señor Greeny.
doing things with them, and, you know, many things coming, very exciting things coming for the brand and for the poker world.
I remember when I was growing up, I saw you were part of Team Poker Stars Mexico,
Yes.
and you were the only Mexican. Aside from JC Alvarado, you were the only
me and him.
Mexican.
It was me and
oh, it
him.
was you and him.
Yeah, and yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah. I
Imagine.
Traveling to Latin America, you know,
You've been
like
running
these
away
young
already, you
kids
know?
playing tournaments,
Chess game and
representing the brand, our country. Yeah, loved it.
I got a question from Nicholas Economos. I believe I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, mate. First is 250K, I believe, Angel.
Correct.
We will get a breakdown of the other payouts for you when we can.
I think it's around 175 for second, like 119 for third, and what's fourth?
We are without our
I think 79.
79?
I think.
I'll trust you on those. They will pop up on screen eventually. Ah, thank you, mate. Yes, fist pump.
How is it, Economos?
I believe so.
I like,
It's a cool name.
your name, Nicholas.
Yeah, man. I feel like you can make money with that now.
Yeah, like it sounds like you're a professor of something.
Dr. Economos.
Yeah, Dr. Economist. What do you do for a living, Nicholas? Tell us. Let's see if your name matches what we think of your name.
Chow with the sevens here.
Yeah, that's so unreal, man.
nothing changed.
Real estate agent. Yep. We were too far off the mark. Moneymaker.
I'll buy from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any good properties in Bankstown, where we're hosting this tournament.
Two diamonds for Luke. Complicated flop for Chow. That
Yeah.
He does have a straight draw, but it's a bad one. He does have
Backdoor
the diamonds.
Yep.
That's a good thing. That's a good card.
Ten's
for
a nice
him.
card to see for sevens.
He how Luke proceeds here.
Very interesting. I wonder how much 10x he's giving Chow when he doesn't see a c-bet on the flop.
C4 bet.
I think it's also a bit a matter of him not wanting to check call or check raise, right? So he's
Yes.
taking the lead, you know, representing.
It's a great way to put it for people who are thinking
know?
about these kinds of spots, you know. Thinking about your responses if you do something like check. How are you going to proceed that they then bet?
Yeah,
Wow, and he's just folding the sevens.
I like it. Aggression.
Chow's just playing pretty snug, I think, while Andres is short. It's not the worst overall strategy. I would say that he's playing a little bit too tame in some of these spots. But overall, I think he has the right idea.
Diamondos. Diamondos.
I can't call with my hand.
And I mean, it's hard when you're playing for this much money,
Huh?
and you know you don't want to make any mistakes, right? So
I can raise
the
with
natural
my hand, I can't
response
call.
often it's being very cautious, right?
Yes.
Which, if you keep doing it, will become a leak. And
Exactly.
a way for people to exploit you, right?
And it's hard to find that balance. It really is.
It is, especially with like stacks moving, having a short stack. So I think he's being very conscious of the fact that Andres is, you know, going down, stack size wise. So he's hopeful that the short stack, you know,
C4 call.
goes out before him. You know, that's very, very normal.
Jack 9 on Jack 9 violence. Well, Chow has taken a significant equity lead by taking the flush draw there.
This is an interesting spot because this is a flop that Luke is going to attack quite often. And he can find some second barrels as well. So let's see, you know, what is he going to do with the 7 of spades? Okay, never mind. Never
And
mind. Now
Chow is
Chow
just
is
free rolling.
rolling.
They're both going to be thinking, money.
I'm so smart. Good.
It's all coming to me. But little do they know. Little do they know.
Especially knowing that neither of these players can have ace-jack, right? As
Yeah.
played, as Hannah was played, right?
Yeah, that's something to think
I
of.
guess Luke can have more ace-jack than
Oh, of course,
than
yeah.
Chow,
He can-
but
he can
Chow
have some strong
definitely
limps.
Doesn't have ace-jack there.
Yeah, it would be very surprising to see Chow have as many strong hands as Luke when Luke can be limping some strong stuff. He's squirming a little bit this flop like, oh, what am I going to do, man?
What do I do with this monster?
Only Jack 9?
I think this
Give him
is
a
a
little look.
mandatory race. What do you think?
Let's see, 130 into 260. I'm curious to see how he proceeds because I would imagine
Only
just
calls.
he just
Only
calls. Yeah, he's been playing so snug. I kind of don't mind it when a raise by him might look stronger in this kind of situation. And if Eddie does have bluffs, he might want him to find another barrel. So, look, yeah, I would probably find a raise if it was you or me. But given the way that Chow's played, I really don't mind a call in the dynamic.
Yeah, I guess the way I see it is that, okay, my opponent has bet twice in a spot where he can have a lot of two pairs. He can have, you know, a lot of kings, king X, king jack, king 9. Hands are going to potentially continue if I raise, you know, because it's not like Luke is always going to fold king 9 here, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I think we got to go for building the pot here and trying to control with worse, which is a lot of hands. And, you know, it's not that we are assuming Luke can have jack 9 here, no, but he has queen 10, king 10, 10-4, all possible hands, or even stronger hands, you know, queens, kings, and 10s that are, you know, limping and trying to slow play and trap. That's why I think I like the raise a bit more. Here, Chow contemplating a raise. He's even thinking about only calling, from what I'm seeing here. He'll be raising. But I've seen him play very cautious.
Yeah. I would be very surprised if we saw the just call. I think
Yeah.
the jam is always coming, right? Or could he find a non-all in? No, it looks like. Oh, he is going to find a non-all in size. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
1.225 is the bet.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
Three raise, 1.225, and C4 all in.
And
All
here's-
in call.
Free roll the bot. Tell man, like
So,
fucking
Wow.
such a free roll, man.
C5.
Such a free roll, man. Chow says.
It's shop, it's shop, doesn't matter. It's shop.
Yeah, and then C4 all in.
No, he's not. I don't think he's limping his chip. I'll never put him on his chip.
Interesting comment there by Chow, actually. He said, I don't think he's ever limping ace jack. It's
I
interesting.
raised 10 years to jam. No, it's like. If
I don't
raise-
think Luke would in that particular spot, to be honest, either. Not there.
As the chip leader,
Such a
you
boring
Chip
hand, man.
lead,
After jam, I
trying to
thought
put
I know he's
pressure
dropping
on
already.
a
After jam.
smaller stack. I think very natural
Sounds
right
like
there.
Christmas.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but that snap call is.
Really depends on his overall strategy and how many limps he's actually going to have as the chip leader in this spot. You would imagine you want to put the pedal to the metal and start putting pressure on people.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm giving everything away. I don't think you know what I'm saying, Jack.
I know. You could have, but I don't think you have.
Fucking
I'm
Christmas
free
on
roll,
the
free,
turn, huh?
free roll, man.
Christmas.
Such a free roll spot for me, man.
Holy moly. We're both just dancing.
Yeah, we're both dancing.
Doing dancing. Can't you use me?
What?
Can't you use me? That's exactly what I was thinking in my head.
Okay, Luke. Nice front hand. It's queen on the bottom.
I already knew that, but hey.
Lovely hand when we have the image as the chip leader and being aggressive to have something like this in a position where we're stealing so often.
Where's my big chip dust? Yeah, just take my big stick team. Oh, yeah, here. Is there one more? Oh, yeah. I'm not flat calling there. That's like. With that stack, I don't think there's many limping ace check. Not many limping. You have to give me pressure when he's short.
Oof.
Him? Yeah. I don't mind.
Top spot for this. The ace deuce.
I love the way Andrew stacks his chips, actually. Very clear.
Maybe I jam, he tank.
I know a lot of people,
Yeah.
mainly newer players or some recreationals, think professionals are looking for like live reads or something when they ask for a chip count, but it really is just trying to understand how to play your own cards a lot of the time by understanding how much someone has. And if you are someone who doesn't like to say how much you have when you're asked, doing what Andres is doing right now, or even what Naj is doing, just having them in really clear stack sizes that everyone can see will avoid you needing to answer that question if it is something that you worry about at home as you watch this.
Yep.
Five players in the national championships, your blinds are up 400.
Just being aware of stack sizes in general is so important, especially final tables, right? So
Of course.
every hand you need to be aware of how many chips are on your left, how many chips are on your right. All your decisions are based on that fact.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Interesting check. Eddie just trying to realize. There he does. Andre's now going to wonder if he can never check and win. Has a hand that really has no connectivity to this board.
Right, and it might be a candidate for him to bluff here. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine ace high is actually good here when Eddie checks it down. You imagine he's going to have at least some showdown value, let alone the nuts.
Right, and Luke often will bet his big cards on the turn as well, right?
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Or even on the flop.
yep. I'm not convinced on, Luke having a heart here, so I can understand why.
Yeah,
Andres is trying
I
to
actually
take that.
quite like Andres' bet the more we've discussed it here, We are going to see a raise by Eddie, and I'm sure Andres will find the fold. Snapfall by
300K,
Andres.
snapfall by Andres.
They're asking for a toilet break, 5 minutes toilet break.
Everyone.
If everybody wants it, not.
And we're gonna go in a 5-minute break, I think.
I'm as well. Yeah?
10-minute break.
All right, we guys will see you after the break.
That's the only time that you left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Can't make it up.
yeah, I was like, where is it?
I went to the back because I wanted to check to see
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm out there for what?
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
You can't make it
You
up.
can't
I was
make-
there for 2 minutes. That's 3. You can't make it up. Out of all the time I've been standing here, you know?
Just a reminder, all players in the vault, this is your 30-second call. That's all players in the vault, this is your 30-second call. Start making your way back to your tables.
last one out of here. One get here, yeah. Get people to probably get like 22. Last one. Is it clear? Winning at all? That'll be fun. Then they can stop firing shells. They don't want to just show. You can stuff you mentioned. It's the last one. You can show
yeah,
anyone you want.
shells if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know other shit.
Oh yeah, then I'm in.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I just don't want to limit my
No.
But yeah, I'm
5
Yeah.
holes.
Okay.
Keep 1 hole. 2 holes. Keep 4 raise 100. C4 bets 8. That's 150,000. 1 5.
Key card, very dark as well. We tell each other out, I don't even care. One? You can have that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about 50 minutes away from the end of registration for the APT Sydney National Champs main event, Flight D. So we're going to do some flips. If you are sitting around the room playing other events, like the Terminator, the Vault, outside, in the Mega Freeze as well, in the outside room, let us know. I'll be doing flips all the way through until the end of registration. If you are seated at the main event, you can still win the flip. You can still jump into the flip, and then you can on-sell to people registering into the main event. You can transfer that ticket if you wish to answer that question. But I'll do a lap of the room. And I will stay off the microphone until we got the flips on. But we'll run multiple flips. Let us know if you want to jump in. $100 flip into the National Champs main event.
Pair. Greater than sevens, lower than jacks. And there's a little breakdown.
Prize pool's going to be very juicy. There is currently 127 players seated in that main Flight D. And just so you guys know, the average stack that to get through was about 120k. just
Queen jack over. That's a power. That's a power. That is 2 overs. Third.
Apologies, I am back now. Angel's just gone to the bathroom on our break. Did not realize the players had started back playing. Apologies to everyone at home. Can't tell what that means, Andrew Mitchell. Sorry, mate. Naj opening under the gun here, finding one of the best turn cards after he's bet that flop. Gut shot and the gut shot straight flush draw, I might even add, has come into the mix. Any diamond, any 7. And he's going to be able to put enough pressure on Andres' bottom pair. Andres, of course, with the ace of diamond blocking a lot of bluffs is also important to consider there. So a very reasonable fold by him, but it is going to see him chopped down a little bit here to less than 20 big blinds. Bit of a disparity in the stacks starting to develop. And my partner has arrived back from his break. He's just setting up here. Lovely hand here for Luke, Queen 9 of spades. Welcome back, Angel.
Thank you.
We missed you.
You guys. Okay.
You have to just call Jackson.
4 left still.
Such a good hand. Such a good hand.
You know, when the final table starts going short-handed, as it is right now, people are a bit more. The stress feels not as heavy as it is when, you know, it's like a full final table.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you've made some money.
Yeah.
You know, it can be so brutal making the final table and being like, oh, I've made like 1 buy-in or something, and then you see like infinite buy-ins for first, and these things are just naturally so top-heavy. It's yeah, it can be a little depressing. I have to admit, I went on a streak through my career. Grant Levy used to make a joke to me. He was like, oh, Dids is good for a 5th or a 6th. And I have to admit, it does weigh on you. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that, but it really does weigh on you when you can play for 3 or 4 days and you're just never finding the close.
Yeah, top 3. That's what you want, right? So finishing
Yeah.
5th, 6th, 7, yeah, could be, depending on where you are in your poker career, could be, yeah, from devastating to depressing to, you know, you lose motivation. Why always me? Why am I always 5th?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I've felt it, man.
Yeah, very natural feeling.
I was just saying to the audience, there's a bit of a disparity opening up in the stacks now. Andres has moved under 20 big blinds. He just played a hand where he defended ace-3 against Naj's 8-9 of diamonds. And he flopped bottom pair, and Naj turned a gut shot straight flush draw with diamonds, whilst Andres had the ace of diamonds. So
Yeah.
Andres was actually blocking a lot of Naj's bluffs. It was a very reasonable fold. I mean, he had bottom pair in the way.
Right.
And we know Naj is always going to barrel when he turns that much equity.
How big was the bet from national turn?
I cannot recall, admittedly. I was
Like
just
a bigger size?
I mean, I'd have to speculate it was, yes.
Okay. Knowing Nash, yes. Big bet.
Boom. Eddie here with deuces.
For race, 103,130.
Got
5.
Good. One of those ones I should probably end it.
you got too many Premier hands. I got fucking 0.
Plus pair. It was pair.
3, 5.
Sorry, I think we had a interview with Joe Hashem. Cut us off there for a second. Not that I would ever want to cut off Joe Hashem.
What a great job from, you know, Tony and the management of this series.
Oh, I've been so impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
There were some challenges at the end of day 1 of the 25K, admittedly. But I thought the floor staff just dealt with them so well. I was so impressed by Steven on the ground. Josh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Just so caring about what the players needed, wanted. You know, at any second, if anyone needed any kind of assistance, technical related answers, they were just so sharp. And I know these guys are working very long days. Like, I've heard some guys are doing 20-hour shifts, and to have that support here as poker players is everything we want a series to be. Obviously, I hope they can get more sleep as they do these in the future, but they put on so many tournaments a day. There's such a selection. Kind of reminds me of the APL Million in the amount of tournaments they're able to pump out on any given day. And I think that's what makes you a really marketable, selectable series to come to. This was my first ever APT, and I honestly was pleasantly surprised at just how well everything was run, and seeing all the faces that you'd like to see. You know, none other than Joe Hashem being here to support his brother Tony as Tony undertakes this venture. I've known them for, you know, my whole life in this game, and it's nice to have a lot of credibility behind a brand, and you know, the Hashems are going to do that.
Definitely. And also, you know, the fact that what you were saying, that, you know, so many tournaments, so many players, so many needs and things that need to be happening at the same time, right? And the guys, all the tournament directors that, you know, I had the chance to speak to, and, you know, the floors, the dealers, they were all very accommodating, very, you know, aware of, like, looking for people's experiences to be, you know, right there on the top. And I think they did a great job at that, you know. Sometimes when you are working 20 hours, you know, you're not going to be smiling because you're tired. You know? And these guys did a fantastic job on every hour of the day, from my experience, and I'm sure like many players share the same feeling about it.
And just with regard to those guys like Steve and Josh in particular, you know, I know that he used to run some of the largest PokerStars events in Australia, like when Jono and Grant were winning the APPTs, and it was really exploding, you know, like 2007, 8, 9 kind of area. And to have someone with experience from back then who's been in the industry for so long, I think really helps you when you're starting out series like this.
Yeah.
25K was the largest buy-in ever held outside of a casino in this country, and obviously as we unfortunately struggle to have more tournaments in casinos, I think that's going to be a big deal going forward, to have the trust and credibility of people to, you know, pony up pretty big dollars and feel like your money's secure, you're playing a safe tournament, even though it's outside the casino. The security here is amazing.
Yeah. I'm very happy with this series. To be honest, I'll be back for sure.
I will absolutely be back.
I'm sure the
I mean, it would
Do
be
we
a pretty
call you-
serious hit
do
and
we-
run if I didn't come back, right?
I was gonna say champion, half champion. What do we call you? Like, you're a champion. In my books, you are a champion.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have asked the question. I think it's fair for you to raise. You know, Yeater and I, when we discussed it, just said we both want it, you know. And I know that's probably not something people maybe want to hear because they want an outright champion, but we just knew we were going to play until sunrise if we played that heads up. And
Yeah, it
in
was
both
very
of our words, I would always say he's the better tournament player than me. He's actually the current #1 on the GPI from last year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I obviously play, like, I shouldn't say obviously, forgive me, I play high stakes cash, and I think, well, he said in his words that I'm the better cash player. We were still very deep, and, you know, we were just sort of in a moment of huge mutual respect for one another where we were like, okay, let's go play the 10K tomorrow instead of playing until sunrise, and we'll do a nice ICM chop. So we won it together. Yeater's my champion, I'm his, and whatever people want to call us, that's up to them. But we chopped the tournament, and we both couldn't be more over the moon.
Yeah, of course, man. And yeah, it was very nice to see you both there, you know?
Thank you. That means a
You're
lot to
both
come from you.
Great guys, great players. Everyone loves you, you know, so I'm sure people at home
That means a
who
lot,
are
man.
following are very happy as well.
Yeah, the messages of support have just been so touching, honestly. I love them. I really do love them. Just hearing people
Makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
During, afterwards, you know,
yeah, so many people just coming up in the room and congratulating you. It's a new feeling, but I like it. And there's just so many warm and genuine people who have really long stories and histories with you. So yeah, no, it means a lot, man. It meant a lot to actually be with you throughout that for the majority of at least the first 2 days.
It
you
was
know?
such a fun tournament, man.
Yeah.
We're talking hands, playing weird spots, over limping the aces
Yeah.
versus jungle man.
So many hands against Jungleman that we all played.
3-betting the 7-deuce-0.
I mean, can I squeeze in a quick hand history? Jungleman 3-bet someone with 7-deuce off on day 2 of that tournament.
On the stream table.
Yeah, on the stream, and he just goes, I'm the only guy who would do that in this tournament.
In a
And
25K.
In a
In the
25K.
world.
And of course, Angel sees 7-deuce off himself, like, what,
1 hour later.
1 hour later. And in your heart, you had to do it, right?
Yeah, I know I'm bored and I'm on torching, you know. I just want to go for it.
When he told me this, I was like, bro, it's a 25K. What are you doing?
Just for the lulz. It's not that you're going to have that opportunity ever again, you know. Like,
So what did you say to him after you 3-bet
so
him?
I 3-bet, he falls, and I using his tone, because he uses this tone, right? Like, where it's like almost like a caricature, you know, like, you're not the only man in the world anymore. You know, and I show the 7-deuce.
I love how much that meant to you.
Yeah. For the lulz, bro. It's all for the
You got the
lulz.
lulz, bro. You got the lulz. Well done.
I feel like it should be like a YouTube clip of the 2 hands.
I think we can probably find them. The stream was on day 2. Anyway, we should move back to the action here. Eddie's open to, Luke Edwards is open to 80K here with the Queen 10 of clubs, and Andres is going to jam.
Yeah, feels like a very
13,
natural all-in
a
with
little
the
bit more.
stack size.
15 bigs, yep. Obviously, he's going to expect Luke to be opening the button
595.
wide. And at deeper stacks, you know, people would just defend the ace-8-0, but here you have to have a read on who your man is. And this is a great jam with ace-8, knowing that the triple lead is opening wide. He's an aggressive player anyway. And he's denied Luke all this equity, you know, 52-48. Not bad to fall that 48% equity.
Yeah, and you know, even though Luke has a lot of chips, he can go for a call and try to eliminate Andres, but at the same time, he doesn't want to double him up, right? He knows Andres is, you know, one of the, if not, you know, the best player at the table, at least in tournaments. So you don't want to double that guy.
No way.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to make the same mistake I did.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be very curious to see if we were to see Andres eliminate how Chow would play. Because my feel has been that he's been navigating this waiting for Andres to bust, if he does. So whether Andres doubles or whether he gets knocked out, I'll be very interesting to see how Chow proceeds, actually, given that he's been sitting 3 out of 4 here.
Yep. And it is a big jump. You know, it goes from 79,000 to I think it's 119.
Wow.
It's
It's like
almost
4 buy-ins.
Yeah, $40,000 difference.
Thanks,
if I'm
Craig.
not mistaken.
That's a really nice comment to hear from Craig Abernathy. Appreciate it, man, for the shout out. I know I shouted back out at you the other night for the work you're doing for the players who've been banned by Star Casino, and
Yes.
I feel like everyone, if you haven't seen Craig's petition, go look it up. It's been shared on Poker News and Poker Media and all the main poker media reporting sites about players being inexplicably banned at Star Casino properties without getting any reasoning, and judging by the people who have been banned, like just really well-respected players, it's hard to imagine that there's actually anything going on other than Star trying to appease the regulator, I suppose. I hope that situation gets sorted soon. Craig is certainly leading the charge. He's doing a very admirable thing, so thank you, Craig.
Yep. Thank you, Craig, and hopefully the situation solves. Because yeah, it's sad to see so many legends, which that's what they are, right?
They are.
Like, you know, someone like Alex Nash,
Andy Lee.
not being able to play all those nice tournaments, the TLPT especially. It's sad. It's sad not to happen there.
Honestly, the names that we just mentioned are absolutely icons in this industry. I think Alex is like I would have Alex in our top 5 live tournament players from Australia. I think he's absolutely phenomenal, and he very much has his own style. I've always been a big fan of the guy. Andy Lee, obviously, arguably the biggest cash game player in this country. Amazing tournament player as well. But someone
that I know called him the Phil Ivey of Australia recently.
Oh, who said that? No, I said that on the stream last night, and I absolutely back it up. You know, the guy plays all the highest stakes and mix. Oh, sorry, forgive me. I'm going to cut that story short. We've got a big hand here. Andres opening the button with Ace King, and Naj has Queens. This one's going in, boys.
It is, and Andres gonna need to win this flip.
335. 235 are
Very, very crucial hand. Nash 3 bets, and Andres is not folding. Obviously.
Eddie will consider him the unluckiest person in this hand not to see a flop with Jack 10. But we are about to see Andres hit the gas here. I'd bet a lot of money we see nothing else other than an all-in.
Yeah,
I think I'd bet all my money.
20 big blinds stack for Andres. Really not other play than winning here.
Obviously important for people to note that Naj is far, far wider than pocket queens here.
Yep.
I think Andres is doing well to do something that he would do with any decision here, counting out his exact chip size, not just trying to have an estimate. It's important to know exactly how much you have, even if you do have what would appear like a really straightforward decision. Naj going to have a quicker decision, I think. Good luck, gentlemen.
Let's go, Andres.
I was about to say, Angel's certainly rooting for one player more than the other.
Sorry, Nash, I love you still.
I'll try and be more neutral here. I love them both too. It's a big moment for Andres.
Andres is gonna need the ace or the king. So we lost signal for a minute there. But as we see Andres standing up, sadly we have lost him.
Yep.
Yep, a classic flip. Craig, you're right. Sometimes goes your way, sometimes it doesn't.
Andres.
Nice
Andres,
hand,
a fantastic tournament from Andres Vasquez, which, you know, show us all today what is he's made of. And I'm sure we're going to see him making more final tables of any tournament here in Australia and also overseas, because he's going to Vegas.
Oh, nice.
I heard.
I know he would have wanted more, but he was really impressive today. And he did get lucky with the King Jack against Ace King against Naj, so
Definitely.
extended his lifespan here with a bit of run good, and I think also with some skill. And he's got that in spades. I think we'll see a lot more of him in the coming years. And on top of everything as a competitor, I know he's a lovely person. We are having a slight technical error here. We've lost our screen, admittedly. So just please bear with us for a minute or so as we try and get this corrected. Hopefully you guys still see the feed.
Heads up. Sorry. 2 calls, 4 calls, touchdown. Ball check. 5 bets, 40,000.
The problem with winning that is you can't win anymore. You can back from the last field. Are you already?
4 calls. Ball check.
And we are back. We do have the feed. And of course, we're on a river as we get our feedback. So forgive us, guys. This might not be our best hand here, but looks like Luke has made a straight on the river against ace-10. So Luke has limped the small blind. Chow's check back. Check call on the flop. Check, check.
Yep, and
4 bets, 100.
he's gonna take this pot down unless Chow finds the river bluff. I don't think so.
5 folds. Buttons on for you. Ready, boy? Thank you.
And then there were 3.
By the looks of it, the most likely scenario is that Nash is gonna face Luke heads up unless, you know,
Unless
he
they
sees,
do a deal and just don't play heads up. You know, I've heard people doing that before. I don't know if the audience loves it, but
Will be fair.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're close friends, right? Nash
And,
and Luke?
I don't know, actually. I wouldn't have imagined so. Luke's Melbourne, Naj's Queensland. I'm sure they have a great
Okay.
mutual respect for one another, and I think it would be a very entertaining heads up if it was. But
Yes.
let's see what Chow can do now. I was talking about him earlier, and I was curious to see how he proceeds once Andres was eliminated, if Andres was eliminated. And now he's the short stack, so he's going to have to make it happen. And
5 folds.
with Luke being the chip leader and having a fairly significant amount of chips on Naj, Naj should tighten up a little bit, and we should see Eddie be more of the bully. But I don't know if that's Naj's style. I don't know if Naj is really too worried about ICM in these spots. You know, being a high-stakes PLO cash player, I think he's more likely to just
for
really
it.
be going for it, you know.
Yeah.
I had the same kind of vibe about Andy Lee when we were playing on the table the other day, you know. You've got to be aware of the players who are quite aware of the ICM and some who just really just want to go for the win and adjust accordingly. And sometimes they can make you adjust poorly. I would say that the responses against those players can sometimes be worse than any kind of like punts or slightly more aggressive plays or overly aggressive plays that they can make.
Yeah, it is definitely an edge. If you're playing high stakes cash, you're used to swings. You're used to, you know, playing big pots, right? So, as you said, money is not really like a, you know, like a big factor. Those jumps.
Yeah.
It's not something that is gonna worry Nash. And yeah, he should be thriving on this type of scenarios, right?
Yeah.
4 bets, 50,000, 5-0.
Not to say that both Luke or Chow are gonna be scare money or anything like that. Just that, you know, the swings Nash is more used to, right? Given his
Yes.
high stakes cash in nature.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair comment. We've got Tana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, mate. Tana or Tana? No deal, haha, all the way, mate. That's what the audience wants. They want blood. They want an epic heads-up duel, and they might be owed one, admittedly. Sorry, my fault. The Heaters' fault.
Two raise, 80,000.
Nash opening the bottom, king turn O. With the 5-4-0 on the big line. Let's see if he defends. Which at this point, given his stack size, I don't know if you agree with this, he should be defending a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just realizing the equity of making one pair, I think is so important when you're putting such a large percentage of your chip stack in the middle with the big blind ante.
Yep.
Like, it really doesn't make a lot of sense when you're getting such a good price to be following very much.
5-4.
But I'm not going to pretend like 5-4 off is, you know, a mandatory call there for everyone. If you do think you're going to struggle to play, you know, a weak kind of pair post flop, then I can definitely get around to fold.
But you're not calling anyway. You're not calling anyway.
Damian Jackson coming in, also wants no deal.
Yeah,
Play for the blood. Heads up. Greg's fairly confident Naj won't do a deal. Again, guys, if you're just tuning in, it's Didier Guerin and Angel Guillen. I'm doing your name justice there, my friend.
You are.
Or as commonly known in Australia, Angel. So if you guys have any questions for us, we have the chat open. We're at your liberty. We're here three-handed in the 10K TLPT Challenge at APT. Excited to be with you guys.
5, re-raise, 250,000.
All right, so we're seeing a little bit of what you were saying, you know, like we were curious how Chow was going to react to the fact that we lost one player.
Three-betting the A6. Oh, let's go, bro. That would indicate to me that he's about to start opening up.
As he should, right?
Of course.
Is that the 25K champ right there in the screen?
Wearing the ring one time today.
Show the people your ring, man.
Yeah, it's a nice ring. It's engraved, APT 25K Invitational Champion. Apparently it's worth 15 grand.
Oh,
Not sure. But yeah, I'm very proud with it. I sent a picture to my parents and they were ecstatic. And I told them I'm going to give it to them.
Proud parents right there.
They're actually over in Las Vegas themselves at the moment.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're on holiday,
Really?
so they've been getting everything on like a delayed kind of reaction when they wake up every morning. Yeah, no, a very special moment for me and my family, to be honest. And it's going to be a very special day for someone who wins this today.
It's just so nice to win, man.
Yeah, it took me 11 years to win one, and then I won 2 in 2 weeks. So all the myths about tournament poker, in my opinion, completely real. It's just a heater. It's just a heater.
When you win, yeah, that's right. I forgot that you won another one.
I won the Poker Palace $2,500 blind high roller.
Running hot, man.
2.5K, then a 25K. So should I just add another zero every time?
Maybe start with 100K.
Start with 100K? Yeah. I don't know if that feels right. I think we just go straight for the 250.
There are not that many.
There's not that many. Be me,
Go
like
to Monte Carlo
me.
right now. Catch a flight.
Just play some poker with Ike Haxton and Michael Adamo and all the big dogs.
Big
I think I'd be a little bit out of my depth. You know, it's important to stay grounded even after a big win. That was the first time I've ever played a 25K buy-in.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Are you at this point in your life still aspire to play Triton, for example? You know, like a series full of these superstars, the best players in the world, the biggest buy-ins. Is that something that, you know, resonates with what you're trying to achieve in poker? What do you think about that?
I have to admit, I haven't considered it yet. I've had offers actually in the last sort of couple of days since the 25K results, and I'll think about it is my answer. I deeply respect the players in those fields for being the best in the world. So it's something I think about. You know, I probably would have a smaller percentage of myself in those fields because they're so tough. But it's really inspiring to see, one of my friends, Cale Burns, just doing so well in them as well. I think he's got 2 or 3 now, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So look, I know how far away I am from him as a poker player. I totally respect the gap there, and I don't think any victory would skew my sense of what I believe my skill level to be at. I try and be pretty grounded. So my first instinct is like maybe no, but we'll see what happens if the right opportunity arises. But
Yeah.
it's definitely something that interests me. As a poker fan, I think they're fantastic events. But as a poker player, maybe I still have a little way to go. So yeah, what do you think?
I definitely want to give it a shot. Like I know, as you just said, the level of those guys is, they're the best because they've been playing the game at the highest level for many, many years, right? And they study it every single day, and they prepare for it in ways that, goes beyond, studying the game.
Yeah.
Like they do everything that professionals should be doing, perform at the best level, at the highest level.
At the forefront.
And they're obviously extremely smart guys. They're not only talented, extremely smart, and obviously battling them doesn't seem like a necessarily good financial decision.
I think that's a fair analysis.
But it's also how are you gonna kind of like measure yourself against the best if not?
That's true.
There's no other way to really put yourself to the test and see where you are if you're not playing those guys.
Yeah,
I do aspire to it, and I know for me to get there, I have to, beat number 1 by age, because these guys are way younger, right? Like some of the upcoming.
Yeah, it's the guys.
superstars.
They finish Ivy League education in the universities, and they just come
Yeah.
straight to play
You showed,
poker.
Ace
And
King.
it's
So there's
hard to
that.
compete against that energy and that work ethic.
Definitely. So there's that, and obviously background considerations. Those guys
Yeah,
are very they're, even if they're not super loaded to play those tournaments, they still have the ability to sell action very fast, right?
yeah, for sure.
And we were seeing a video as we were
That wasn't the
talking about
cutaway I
this.
was expecting, but I like it nonetheless.
Little pets. I don't know if people are seeing this.
I hope they are.
There it is.
I don't think I've made a phone call before not being drinking.
Oh my god. What just happened?
I think I'm run down.
We did just see Luke open Queen 7 suited and Naj 3-bet Ace King. Pretty quick hand. Didn't want to brush past it. Oh, we have a question from Christopher McLaughlin, I believe I'm saying right. Didier and Angel, what have you liked about the final play of each of these last 3 players? That's a good question. I guess I'll go one by one. I'll start with Chow, and I'll say that he navigated very well until Andres was out. He was clearly just waiting for that pay jump. When you're playing tournament poker, you're not necessarily making money by winning chips and pots, right? It's about laddering. So I think Chow's laddered very well. We're seeing him open up right now.
Yeah. Nash 3 bets. Before going into what I think Nash has been doing well. Let's see this hand. And Luke has a perfect candidate to go for a fold forward here.
Still going with the flips.
There's no
One
calling.
seat left in one of the main eight flips. And 2 seats left.
As I said, Chow's opening up 9-4 suited. Actually a very reasonable open on the button. Want to be opening some pretty playable suited cards here. We have to play a lot of hands when we're anteing and blinding off so quickly. Naj has made the 3-bet with 6s. Kind of surprised to see that. I don't hate the 3-bet in isolation. It's just Chow hasn't actually shown them that he's opened up much yet. I don't think they've seen any of that. So I would have imagined a call some of the time. As you said, Eddie, perfect hand to call for.
Yeah, and I think what Nash is thinking, okay, so I've seen Chow playing a little bit snug or cautious, extra cautious. I think this is a hand where I'm going to put a lot of pressure. Instead of calling here and getting squeezed by Luke, which will have happened, for example, if Nash calls there, I think Luke is going to 3-bet, right? A lot. And maybe Nash wants to avoid that and wants to put pressure on the stack that has not many plays there, right? Like, I don't think Chow is necessarily going to be calling
I want to hang
a
out
lot
with you guys for the
in
rest of the
position
night.
with that stack size.
I'm here for the long haul.
Yep.
I like the 3-bet from Nash, and
Then all 3 played it well.
yeah.
A very rare example of all 3 playing it well. But to Christopher's question, what have you liked about Naj and Luke, just generally speaking today from your observations?
I think Nash has been very consistent with his overall style, right? Aggressive, you know. I mean, he's getting good hands, and why not? But he's also willing to, you know,
80,000.
put a lot of pressure. And even though we haven't seen him going for 3 barrels often, he's still like raising lots of hands. He's like c-betting, making second barrels. So it's very important to keep the pressure up. And
So important in tournaments.
yeah. And I think he, you know, this is what I expect from Nash, right? Like I wouldn't expect anything in between.
No.
In terms of aggression.
No, not at all. Hey to everyone at home. Luke opening my favorite hand. The
Really?
Jack two off.
The Jack deuce off.
Yeah.
Coin flip for the trophy, right? From this hand.
Yeah, once Yeater and I had agreed to do the deal, we just did a blind flip for the trophy, which I know confused some people, but it does certainly look funny when you make a deal like that, and then some people are not aware of the deal because they're just announcing in the room, and Didier Guerin moves all in for 110 big blinds with Jack 2 off.
Yeah.
It was just a blind flip, obviously. So I'm getting a lot of jokes about Jack 2. Obviously, one of my besties, Adrian, famous for Jack 4 now. So if I have to be famous for Jack Deuce, then I think that's okay. You know, close enough to my man. Actually, I got it twice during that.
Did you?
Yeah. So anyone who was still confused about there not being a deal, I'm just like, wow, Didier really likes Jack 2.
Also, wait. You went only in.
Yeater doubled the first hand,
Right.
then I doubled the next hand, and I had Jack 2 again, and he doubled.
Straight in there.
Oh, look at that. Fading away.
Beautiful fade.
Fading away. All right. Hey, Nash with the Jack says, oh, let's see if it opens also this one. Nope, he lets it go.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Two folds.
He's not going full out of range, I think. Even though he's being aggressive, he's not, you know, overdoing it.
Peter Sheridan, what's doing, my man? Feel free to ask us whatever kind of questions you want. We're here to answer your guys' questions if you have any as we watch these 3 great players try and play it out for all the cheese.
Yeah, remember, $250,000 for first race.
Amazing money.
Yeah.
Maybe I just wait.
There you go, Peter.
That's my.
Naj out of his seat at the moment.
That's one.
That gives you an idea of the current chip stacks. Johnny, with a question for both. If poker wasn't a part of your life, what profession would you both find yourself doing? Start with you, Angel.
Well, my background is economics and math, so I would probably be doing that. I started working for a consulting firm, doing finance, so I think I would be doing that, to be honest. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Wall Street.
Oh.
Yeah, I was on that path locally. I didn't get there. Because
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Poker is
The
way
Wolf
more
of Mexico
fun.
City.
Yes. Also, as Corey Kempson used to call me, the Prince of Mexico.
The Prince of Mexico. Oh,
Yeah.
amigo.
Yeah, finance for sure, I think. And but that's just because of the background, right? Not necessarily something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm fucking.
I did a year of law school before I dropped out to start playing poker when I was 19. A decision my parents did not like at all at the time. Had to dodge a few objects hurled in my direction. But I think if they hadn't been as resistant as they were, I would have never really pushed myself to be better at the game and to study. So I think that's actually the right response when you hear your kid at that age essentially, you know, tell you that they're going to start gambling and you don't know what a professional poker player is.
Yeah.
So I think they were as resistant as they should have been, and that actually drove me to try and get better at the game. And they were pretty against it for the best part of like 5 years, man. So when I made my first World Series of Poker final table, my mum sent me a text message, and it was kind of early, like 2 p.m., and she was like, "This is the earliest I'm ever opening a bottle of champagne in my life. Good luck." And since then, they've been honestly like my biggest fans, so I'm very thankful to them.
Yeah, my story is very similar. I did get very lucky because as soon as I started playing poker, I did well in the World Series of Poker also. So, yeah, I kind of like convinced my parents that, all right, you can give it a shot. You know, they weren't happy at the beginning. And Mexico is a very traditional country when it comes to things like gambling and all that.
Would you say it's a fairly religious country?
It is very religious and, you know, traditionalist. You know, like a lot of tradition when it comes to the things that you should be doing. And, you know, my parents wanted me to be like a nice boy, went to college, work in, you know, the career that I choose to study it and do all that. But I just really enjoy the game so much that I put a lot of time and effort into, as you just did.
I've always felt like you've had a slightly like your own kind of individual take on hands whenever we discuss them. We get to discuss a lot these days, which I'm very appreciative of and thankful for, to have someone like you just to speak about hands, because I feel like you always have a slightly different take and you think about something that maybe other people just aren't always observing. So I think the background you've described really helps you with that, actually.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, thanks. I love talking hands with you. And look, Victor, either you have a great voice for commentating. This is something that I told Lynn.
Really?
The first time that I hear you, like, okay, Didier should be doing like some Nick Schulman type of stuff. You know, like,
that is such a comparison beyond me. Nick is like the most amazing commentator. I don't know if I could. Thank you. That really means a lot to me from both of you. Victor, that's a really, really nice thing to say, man. Thank you.
10-minute break.
Looks like we are about to go on a 10-minute break, guys. So we will be back with you in 10 minutes. Victor, thank you again. You get 2 thank yous. If you guys have any questions, feel free to load them up, and we'll get back to them when we sit back down. But we're going to take a 10-minute break.
80,000. Too cool. Too good.
Coming back from the break into this hand, just me for a moment, while Angel returns from the bathroom. Let's see what's happened here. Luke has raised the the king 4 offsuit off the button. Naj has defended 9-3 suited. He's checked the flop to Luke, who's continued with bottom pair and a backdoor flush draw. Naj has called with second pair, and an interesting turn now as Eddie makes 2 pair. Naj is probably wondering how often Eddie just barrels on this card, you know, with hands like ace-jack and ace-queen. I don't blame him calling a 9 here at all. The 10 is perhaps unlikely to bet. 4-liner to the jack now. Very curious to see how Eddie proceeds. Going to be a bit harder to get value. What kind of hands is he targeting for Naj here? That's the question.
2 pair.
And I think it's not an unreasonable check back when Naj can have jack 10, jack 9. And generally speaking, it's a question of what do you think calls you there as well. There may be some inferior 2 pairs, but it's a nice, safe pot taken down by Luke against a player who's perfectly capable of check raising as a bluff as well. Neil, I will get those payouts for you on the screen momentarily, my friend. We are playing for $250,000 first.
National championship.
Angel and I do have something to run to, so we're going to be sticking with you guys for around about the next 20 minutes or so. So if you do have any other questions, feel free to fire him in before we leave. See Naj just limp in with the Queen 5-0. Eddie with a very playable King 7 suited is going to raise. Can't imagine Naj is really going to have much recourse to continue here. But it is Naj. Now finds a disciplined fold as expected. Eddie starting to really pile the pressure on as the chip leader. 53% of the chips in play. That's his role. Naj still with about double Chow. It's funny, we were talking about Chow needing to play quite carefully whilst Andres was still in while there were 4 left. Naj has kind of shifted into that role, if you will, because he really makes money here by just getting heads up against Luke, and what a clash it could be if it is them. It's almost an exercise in almost waiting for Chow to bust or hope that Chow gets into a high variance situation. And Eddie being in the small blind against his big blind means they are going to be playing plenty of pots together, so it'll probably be killing Naj to have to fold as much as he's supposed to. As someone who loves the game and loves the action as much as himself.
4 raise, 150,000 total, 150.
Alright, National Championship backs are underway. Blinds are 600, 1200 with a 1200 ante. That's 600, 1200 with a 1200 ante.
Welcome back, Angel.
Sorry, guys.
4 raise, 100,000.
Okay, Luke with a very strong hand again. Ace Queen O on the bottom.
5
I was just talking about how it's interesting for Naj now as he's sort of shifted into that role that we had allocated for Chow, where he's a little bit almost waiting like Chow was for Andres. He's almost waiting for Chow to bust so that he can ladder to second and just get into a heads up with Luke Edwards.
Yeah, waiting game, huh?
And I was telling everyone how much Naj must hate that role.
Yeah, he's not a waiting type of guy.
No. I mean, look at those sunglasses. You think this is a man who waits?
He doesn't wait. He just goes for the kill. He check calls here with an open-ended. Luke Edwards still in the lead. Top pair, top kicker, pretty strong hand. 9 on the turn is a potential card that Nash could represent, leading out here.
Yeah,
having to
I agree.
check call. So let's see
The
if
board
he
pairing
goes
should
for
be a
it.
card that favors the hauler, of course.
Right, and he goes for it. I like it.
Yeah, I actually really like this.
Because, yeah, Luke can call, but Nash can still fire, right? And Luke is going to have a very tough time on the river.
Luke's pretty much at the top of his range, you know, aside from aces and kings and, you know, some boats. It's already forcing a hand this strong into just a call, and Nash is going to make sure he sees a river. Ooh.
Good and bad, because maybe Nash was destined to lose more chips if, let's say, river is a brick and he tries again. I think Luke is going to call. So with this particular river, I think Nash should find the check, in my opinion.
A lot of the thinking might also be how often you do bet when you have a 9 here.
Right.
We're very afraid of top pair a lot of the time, and not wanting to get into a particularly high variance spot, which you would by betting a 9. It's probably more comfortable as a check call just with the presence of Chow.
Right. I would personally bet the 9 again on the river, to be honest, because you have such an easy bet fold. Your range is very protected, right? You still have a queen in your range that leads on the turn, even. Because there's going to be a lot of checking back from in-position player, right? So you gotta, like, it's okay to bet out of the turn as well. So I will bet the river. I just fall to a raise most of the time. And, but yeah. I think Nash is just very risky to go for another bet on the river. He's not waiting, you know, he's not waiting. He's battling the chip leader here.
Yeah.
He's trying to win the hands. That's important.
I think that was a potential one. I am too good, and then in there. Thank you.
Chow, Queen Jack O on the button.
Yeah, pretty good hand, three-handed. Gonna open.
5 raise 100.
And Nash has another candidate for either kill in here or 3-bet. He decides for...
Yeah, interesting.
Luke has...
Just ace king, mate. With his image, this is going to look lovely. I can't imagine there's any responses we'll find from either player once he raises here.
Yep.
He may well just rip it. Do we find a non-all-in size here when Naj is 40? I think 40 or 50 effects is probably too much.
Yeah,
I
so
think we're just going to squeeze.
27 bigs, right?
Yeah.
375,000.
No, actually less.
370.
Chow has... Big line is now 50k, right?
It is a little tricky because it's hard to really sell an overwhelming amount of fold equity to Chow with this size.
Right. I think I would have put a little bit less in this particular spot. Even though it's not, you know,
Yeah.
much of a difference. Just to give the illusion that I'm going to have some blocks here. Something use like...
Especially being in position against Naj, you know you're not going to be flattered a lot.
Right.
What'd you have? I think Luke's...
always wants to know.
yeah, he's needling Naj for asking him every hand. It's only a $10,000 final table, mate, with 3 hand. You know, we can just tell each other. I don't blame Naj for trying, though. All credit to him.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of information. When Andres was there and I was like railing Andres, I did see Nash getting a lot of info.
Credit to him, then. Don't stop if it's
Yeah.
working, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how Naj is making all these final tables lately.
That's what it is.
What'd you have, bro?
Yeah, they just tell him. Right, look, small blind 950. Cheap leader. He can do everything. He can raise. He can limp. I think he's gonna be raising more, using his stack size, putting lots of pressure on Cow. Sadly for him.
Value raising against the 8-2-0, I joke.
Yeah.
He's really pulling away now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Look at Nash,
Even-
like
even have
one
your
double
chips
from
that
Chow
count, you say
and they're even, right? So,
It's almost a battle for second.
right, that's what it looks like. And look, just loving life.
Just
Getting
chilling.
hands, holding.
Looks like he's ready to go for a surf after this, you know?
Yeah. We were talking about, you know, for a bit. We were playing the 25 pins. He was telling me he had been in Mexico several times, surfing over there. We have like great beaches to surf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and yeah, he loved his time there. He even knows a little bit of Spanish. Which
Oh,
was
wow.
surprising for an Australian. Not that you guys, you know.
He didn't strike me as someone who'd know a lot of Spanish. That's fascinating.
Right. Like generally in Australia, you don't have many Spanish speaking.
No.
Because you don't need it, right? Like
No.
there's no.
There's no
reason.
countries even close that speak
Right.
Spanish, really.
Right. You have Italians. A lot of
course,
Italians
yeah.
are here, or like
Particularly in these
descendants.
areas, in towards Western Sydney. A big, fun Italian, Lebanese population
Yeah.
over between these kinds of areas. Also at Liverpool towards Poker Palace. Shout out to that community.
We need to bring the Mexicans.
Not enough Mexicans,
Not
man.
enough, man. Okay, so Nash.
What was that?
One.
I looked down, I didn't have a premium.
Ace King.
So every time before you have so many
Cow.
premiums, right? So many premiums.
Well, hang on a minute. Look how much two pairs we got here. You just run down the Jack
These
Ten.
are just having fun. They're securing at least $117,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Incredible.
What's that Australia ring?
Big payday for these three guys.
Ace, Queen, 10 dollars.
Well deserved.
See?
Wow, back-to-back Ace King from Nash.
That red attack would have been a straight. You must have winner. I haven't yet. Oh. Yeah. I'll throw it to him.
Curious how he proceeds here with this one. Good limp, good raise.
You blocked the river.
That must be a...
I think that's an
Correct
RFID
error.
error. Yeah, that's. I will put all of the money I have in this world into telling you that is an RFID error. We did have one situation the other day where it looked like a player folded top set on Ace King Deuce, so it does happen. Apologies for that, guys. Can confidently tell you that Naj did not just fold Ace King. That I think that might give a few people on the stream some cause for concern if it was
or
real.
maybe Sportelli just behind him, telling him how bad the millennials are.
Oh,
Ace
of
King,
course,
and
yeah.
they just decided,
Mate,
you know
you can't risk it with
They're not
Ace
gonna
King.
get
It's a
me with
drawing
Ace King.
hand. No,
Yeah. Yeah. I've been
not even a pair.
I've been hearing Adriano Sportelli talking about Ace King for a full year now, telling
I
me how
think he
bad
was
it is to go all in.
chasing you out the door almost, I saw last night. You don't understand, Angel.
I'm
You
in the
did-
cult. I'm in the Ace King cult. It says.
Ace King cult.
150.
Me
Yeah.
too, I guess.
Yeah.
Far out. I never realized I was part of a
brainwashed.
cult. Ace King cult. Gino, asking for the top 3 payouts, please. I'll see if I can get those on screen for you. Give me a moment. It's $250,000 for first, approximately $117,000 for third. I'll check on double place for you, mate.
And I think it's around 178.
178 per second, okay.
Might be slightly wrong, but very close to that.
All right.
4-bet 75,000. 75.
How really needs to get a hand to go with it.
Been tough for him. He's not been on the good end of distribution here. The one time he made a straight, Luke had one as well. The same straight.
Yeah.
So down to 15 big blinds now. Luke graciously anteing for Naj. as many have done for me in my time, as I take about 10 years to throw my ante in.
No, but
One time a dealer told me, because I was doing that, right, like not putting it on time. He said to me, the ante's every hand, you know, every hand you have to put it.
Yeah, remember when there was no...
very snarky face.
There used to be no big blind ante. Every player at the table used to throw in an ante, and it would take so long. Yeah. I mean, mainly my fault, but so long.
You were always the guy.
What's that
But
guy?
people were waiting.
I think I'm still that guy, even with just a big blind ante. But the fantastic.
I like much better the big blind ante. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it has given poker, you know, a bit more of a fun stuff at times. Okay, we have the payouts.
Thank you, Craig.
I was wrong. It's only 168,000 for second. Third is 116.
10K off, we'll forgive you.
Yeah, we were right with the top price, 250,000, quarter of a million. Sounds more boss, no?
Yeah,
It's a
man, quarter of a million, quarter milli, brah. But yeah,
How much you won in your Saturday tournament? Quarter of a mil. Quarter of a mil.
I have very bad hand. Very bad hand. Very bad hand.
oh, and we do have an all-in now. 8-7 suited has jammed as Chow into Naj's ace-jack.
Yeah, and I like the jam. 7-8 suited. It's a hand that has good equity when we get called.
We don't want to really limp fold it either if we
Yeah.
do get jammed on ourselves, and unfortunately this very much looks like the end for Chow now. Oh, he's turned a flush draw. Oh,
So close.
yep, there is a tough, it's never easy, I was going to say, as Naj. Even when you flop top pair, they can turn a flush draw. But wow, I think we've got the duel everyone in the events we've seen so far has been really wanting. It's the two most aggressive players at the table, the guys who've been leading the field for most of the day, and two very well-known professional poker players. Well, I should say in 80's case, ex-professional poker player. The finest of Victoria and Queensland clashing.
OGs also, right? These two guys are OGs.
Yeah, I would say so. I've grown up knowing both of them, and
Thank you.
yeah, we'll take just a short break here while the APT team needs to make some chip counts and move the players so they're facing each other for heads up, and we'll be back soon. Yeah.
That this would finish.
Huh?
You didn't think this was going to finish?
Hey gang, we are back now from the break. And again, we're coming to a hand on the river.
80,000, 80.
Good luck to both of these players as we approach the heads up. NL and I will not be with you for very long, unfortunately, if it's a long duel. Apologies for that, but we will give you the best we have for the next 10 minutes or so. Luke coming in.
Maybe we can wrap it up.
Maybe we can wrap it up. Maybe we'll force them.
You think we are?
Hurry up!
Uh,
Look at that beautiful trophy in the middle and a ring. I'm kind of familiar with the ring, I might say.
Such a bragger.
Forgive me. I had to get one in.
And
Do you know how much you
that
have?
rig is really nice. I
Yeah.
have it next to you guys. Didier is probably wearing it right now.
One day I'm going to wear it and then it's going to the parents. Don't want to be that guy that just rocks up with the ring every time. I think that'd be too much.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I feel like I need a few rings if I'm going to be that guy, like a chain.
Oh, sounds about right. I mean, yeah.
Maybe more tattoos.
25k champ. Between your
Engrave it all over the body. Make sure they know.
3 rays, 100
for the right chick.
This guy, man.
7 calls.
Naj opening with 3s. Luke defends the 10-8-0. And not the...
You can say it's a good flop for Luke. You can say it's a good flop.
I was going to
because,
say it's not lovely to have 2 diamonds on there. I was going to say for Naj, he'd kind of like having the 3 of diamonds when he does see this kind of board.
Here, Luke,
Interesting.
I think he should be betting, right? We don't want to be check calling with his hand.
No, I
We
agree.
don't really love check racing either, because Nash could have, I mean, not like Nash.
It's a mandatory bet, I agree.
I don't think Nash, I was going to say that. I don't think Nash checks back.
Many flush draws.
Yeah, no. Knowing him, I think he's going to bet them out, so I think we're pretty safe knowing that Nash doesn't have many flushes, right?
Interesting river. Does Luke go for it? Can Naj find the call? I don't think Luke's going to be imagining there's a particularly large amount of 5x here for Naj. Maybe like ace-5 would make sense for ace-high to check the flop. That's about it, really.
Right, Nash is still going to have like big diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are not that many that don't bet on the flop, but maybe the ace high.
That's a good call by Naj.
Right, good call, Nash.
I think it makes sense on behalf of both. I like Eddie's bluff. You know, like you said, Naj is going to have plenty of like sort of big diamonds there, mainly aces, and Luke just folds those out on the river. So I honestly think that's a case of lost the hand but played it well.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just said beautiful.
Seven calls, option.
Luke decides to win.
3 checks.
Just gonna check back. What do you think of this game?
Well, we probably shouldn't have a fold button with anything really aside from deuce 3-0 if we're going to look at the ranges. I think with a full big blind sized ante, it's fine to just have a limping strategy with... so long as you're not just limping your bad hands, I think it's actually a better strategy overall and easier to balance when you do need to be playing so many hands. Luke might have a limp raise and fold strategy. Yet to see enough, obviously. But I think Tournament Poker Heads Up has changed since the introduction of the big blind ante, and the fact that they don't reduce it anymore. I remember when it was kind of a bit newer, we'd see like a
Yeah, they will take it away.
yeah, like a 50% big blind ante, or even just removed. So the variance in Heads Up is definitely larger as a result, and the duels can certainly last a shorter amount of time because there's more money in the middle. But it also does change the strategy to make the players a little bit more risk averse whilst trying to see as many flops as possible.
Right. I think the only thing that I will add when it comes to strategy
3 rays,
is that
150,000.
in general, when we limp the button, we prefer hands that have some sort of showdown value, right?
Yes.
Hands that we can be checked
7 call.
checking back in various streets, for example, queen highs. Those are very natural limps, I'd say. With the 5 deuce, we don't have that
7 check.
advantage, and we're gonna have to either hit a pair or like show aggression.
We
But
bet 125,000.
when we limp, the pot is smaller, right? And we're gonna give our opponent cheaper price in terms of stack. And the only thing, with it is that
7 call.
it kind of removes our ability to be aggressive with a hand that's pretty much bad, right? 5 deuce. So I think
7 check.
I would rather raise that hand in particular, just to, inflate the pot a little bit and play in position and try to take it down, and the texture allows me to do so. But I don't think it's a mistake to limp either. Just, it's deep. I think there's many options, obviously.
Yeah, no, I like the way you think about it and the way that you sort of split those. Again, it really just matters on what your overall strategy looks like on the day as well. Some people look at Naj. He's raising 3x pre, so I haven't seen Luke do that yet. I think they're going to actually be quite different pre-flop, which should make it interesting for people to compare and sort of get to see if you prefer someone's style here more than another. They are both cash game players, I believe, is their original background. I think Luke had drifted more towards tournaments while he was still playing professionally towards the end, and Naj, while we see him at every tournament series, I think he'd be the first person to tell you that Omaha Cash is his thing.
Yep. Good at it.
Yeah. Like, in general, what do you think about this statement, if I put it to you? I feel like when Omaha Cash players come to play no limit hold'em tournaments, they do really well because they like seeing flops, they like trying to play in position, and a lot of the fundamentals are quite translatable. Whereas actually, funnily enough, when I see no limit hold'em cash players come to tournaments, they can be perhaps a little bit too tight because they're not necessarily used to playing with an ante and sort of just going with wider ranges and spots, defending the big blind as much. And I think PLO players seem to transition more naturally. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never thought about that. I think maybe thinking the way that you're putting it, probably PLO players won't be well studied when it comes to ranges pre-flop, so they could be a bit too wide, which in tournaments is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it's a lot about being aggressive. So if a PLO player comes and starts opening lots of hands, like a regular or standard MTT player is gonna struggle finding out, the right counter strategies against a wider range, I guess. So you gotta. If, for example, someone like Nash, Nash is a perfect example. He's very aggressive. He's going to be opening lots of hands at any stage of the tournament, right? So how do you adapt against someone like him that is maybe opening hands that he shouldn't? But it doesn't really matter because he's getting away with it, right? If you're not, countering that with the right aggression or, paying him or punish him for playing hands that he shouldn't be playing, then he's going to exploit you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he does that well.
Really interesting hand here. We were just talking about what Luke's overall strategy might look like when he limped the 5 deuce. And look at this, he's limped 8s. So I suspect he might be playing a limp-only strategy. I don't think we've seen him raise heads up yet. Give me a 5. I missed the first hand or two as we were sitting down, but just from what we've seen, it seems like he is playing a limp and then react strategy. And that's going to help him play a lot of hands. Playing a lot of hands in position with money in the pot, not the worst thing.
Huh?
But again, 2 different styles. Naj is going to be raising more.
Probably had others.
Yeah, Nash likes to inflate the pots, right? Once he puts you to the test, and he's not going to be,
Definitely.
trying to play small pots, because if they're small, then you cannot put as much pressure, so he perceives.
He's just asking Luke again what he has.
What did he say?
He said, were you going to put it in? And he said, yeah, definitely.
Free raise, 150,000.
He gets his info.
Yeah.
Can't hurt to ask, mate.
7 call.
Again, Naj, 3x. Going to be defending every suited hand, heads up.
Yeah, we're not folding those.
Again, guys, if you have any questions for Angel and I, we are checking out pretty soon, so maybe last call for those.
Yeah, thanks.
Looks still with a pretty solid lead.
The orange, you just got to do it to
Almost 6
poor
mil
Taylor, don't you?
of the 9 million chips in play.
Poor Taylor. Poor Taylor. You even know Taylor? I do now. I didn't before I came here. I feel like I know all of it, everything about him. His PLO game, for sure.
All right, let's see if he is limping everything. This might be the moment.
He likes he likes the chess tournaments.
There you go.
He is.
It's a pure limping strategy.
Playing the Phil
Wonder what your
Helmet
rating is.
strategy, which I must say is very effective.
Expect a raise here by Naj, and I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie just calls.
Yeah.
Eddie being Luke Edwards, it's his nickname.
That I didn't know.
7 call. Heads up.
Okay, we're gonna see a flop.
I think it's just going to be a bet in the fold if I had to guess.
3 bets, 150,000.
Maybe Eddie calls here. No, he's not interested in those bumpers. He lets it go and aggression.
Domination. Yes, we can. Yeah.
Domination.
Domination nation.
Combination nation says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're sharing their hands. Like they're saying what they have.
Oh, they're showing every hand. Wow.
That's what happened there.
It's a fun thing to do heads up when you know that the alternative is potentially you both having someone at home feeding you the hands or having to check your phone, which they don't allow on the stream here, which I think is a great thing for APT to decide. Worst thing to do when you're watching a stream is when someone's just looking down on their phone.
The next one's a free roll after you see that one.
I know.
You may as well
Yep.
go then.
Yeah, not a fan.
Depends on what happened.
Once a bit they will go in final tables for sure.
Hey, you really
I'm like, fuck, we would have got it all in.
We're gonna go for 4 days.
All right.
Seven call. Three raise, 200,000. Seven re-raise, 625,000. Re-raise all in. 3 re-raises all in.
I think I'm falling.
Sorry, small technical error there on the commentary. Price Trevor, yeah, you're very likely correct, bro. I don't think Luke has 6-4 off here either.
Shooting!
Ace Jack suited.
Okay.
There has been an RFID error in the last few minutes there. Apologies.
Just don't put an 8 out there.
This is the first
Okay.
time this particular broadcast has been brought to the APT, and there are a few teething problems. Been mostly alright all week.
Pocket 8.
Bad luck. Bad luck, mate.
8, 8, 8.
But Price, you are correct, my friend. Naj would never dream of folding Queen Jack. Big moment here for the tournament. Can Luke Edwards hit an ace or a jack to take this down? Or Naj will become the chip leader.
Ace Jack.
6.6 million chip pot.
Ace Jack diamonds. 8. We're flipping. 8. Mate, the way I've been running, you just have no shot. Too confident.
He's not
Remember how I
wrong.
built that spiral? I'm going to build that in my winner's picture.
Best to listen to the plays.
Pretty good. Both have been running pretty
Good
good.
crowd.
Obviously.
Big moment. Is the 10K challenge about to come to an end?
Can he do it?
10K challenge. We've got Naj falling and at risk with pocket 8 up against
Just
Ace
end it.
Jack.
I feel like Nash
End
is
it.
holding.
Just no way.
But
Just
it's
no way.
I mean,
No way.
in this spot, you always want eights, but I feel like Ace Jack suited so pretty. Like, how can it miss?
Yeah, but it's just too pretty, you know?
Oh,
5, 9, king
Hey,
of
9 of
diamonds.
diamonds. Good flop
8
for
of
Nash.
spades. Finish
Pocket
it.
8 still in front.
Let's see if he can fade some
Few
big
sweats here potentially on the turn. Oh, it's a good turn for Naj. Just dodging an ace or a jack now. And Hell's Reed looking good.
Small, small, small.
And Naj doubles up to take the chip lead.
Naj.
How do you win a flip? How did you win a flip? Kelly's proven his worth.
Apologies again on the RFID cards there.
You luck boss. I'm so confident now.
I had to win a flip eventually. Yeah, well, you've been running hot all day.
I know. I was like, how do I lose?
I had a lot of support. Did you see the support coming?
Yeah, for you to lose.
3.29.
Shout out to Mina too, love his voice. He might have a lovely voice, but that is not Mina, that is Angel Guillen. And myself here, Didier Guerin, doing the commentary for you.
Thank you, Bryce.
It was a compliment, you know?
Yeah.
3.29.
Can't be too offended. And Angel's just stepped out for a second here to offer some support to the players. He'll be back with me in a minute. Just leaves me here. He's rejoined me. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, bro.
Right, new chip leader. Ash with the ace-10 of clubs.
And Luke not
Three raise,
particularly
150,000.
short here.
Pretty much reverse, right? Like for
Yeah.
now. Oh well, actually, no,
Ah, yeah.
has
Two,
a little bit
two.
under
Basically two. 2.1
25
maybe?
bigs.
Yeah, sorry, I'll change it around. There's 3 grades behind it.
No, I think he has closer to 50, 45, 50. 2.2 million at 50,
yes,
baby.
Oh, sorry, 7
You're right.
So it's still going to take another sort of flip like that for us to probably see an all-in. Great flop for Naj here. Don't think Eddie's going to be just check folding any pair though. Some backdoor straight outs.
7 fold. Like that. 7 check.
And as the team begins to check out here for the night, this is going to be the last hand that Angel and I are calling for you guys. It's been a pleasure to be your broadcasters. This is not our normal job, but we hope we've done some service to the players and to the people in the chat who've had questions. It's been a pleasure to be here for you, and I really do wish these guys all the best because they're good guys and they're good poker players, and you can't say that about everyone. You know, someone can be a great player, not a great human. Someone can be a great human, not a great player. But these guys have both in spades. So I really do think whoever wins is going to have a big crowd in their winners photo. But that's it from us here just on the commentary team. We might have someone else to replace us. We'll see what we can do for you guys. Thanks again for everything. Thank you, Angel.
Of course,
it's
of
been a
course.
pleasure.
Happy to be here with you guys and Didier. I think we make a good team, man.
I think we make a pretty good team,
Start a
bro.
thing going on the YouTube channel.
I don't know. Yeah, if people are interested, there might be an Angel and Didier show coming. You know, a little preview for you guys there. Get our call-in show going, bro. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. We are going to continue to stream this until the end, and thanks again for putting up with us and listening to us. We'll try and get you some new commentators, and I will hope to see you guys at the next APT. Cheers.
Oh my god, I've run out of my reds.
7 gold.
I went to get my reds and I'm like, there's none left.
Three checks. Seven bets, 150,000. calls. Heads up. 3 checks.
$300.
7 bets, 300,000. Three calls. What's up? Three checks.
$600.
7 bets, 600,000. 3 calls, showdown.
7. Sorry. Euro. There's some reds back.
That's 500, isn't it?
You said 600.
I said 6. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to announce it because it's too hard to fucking put all the chips in there.
Sorry, mate. I didn't hear.
Oh, yeah.
Big one, Anthony, small one.
I'm so glad you point to whoever's action it is. Because I'm like, I don't know who it's on.
Heads up. Three raise, 150,000.
Just this once, buddy.
Alright.
Just
7
this
calls.
once.
That's it first.
Whew. Yeah, you had a bit of a tell.
Was it?
Yeah.
You knew I had it that time.
Yeah.
You just didn't know when I had it today.
Not then. You can turn your hand over. But even if I had Jack 10, I'd be like,
Alright.
I'm not losing.
Nah. Confident.
After tonight, it's like, whew.
We can put in another flip if you like. We can go no look now if you like. Now I have a chance to win the trophy.
It's true.
7 calls.
I've been trying to get them to switch it to PLO heads up.
Now that would be your downfall.
I know. We can make it 8 game.
PLO. Let's go.
3 checks. Heads up.
I'm definitely more confident in PLO than in 8. Not knowing any of the other games.
3 checks. Seven bets, 75,000. 3 calls. Heads up. Three checks. Seven bets, 200,000. Three fold. Luke, big one, Anthony,
There,
Marsh,
hero
small
ball.
one.
All right.
Little misstep, hero ball.
So it looks like we're heads up.
I'd like to welcome Adam into the booth. He's stuck with me. I've returned. Mr. Lachlan Crilly is back to commentate the Heads Up. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks, Lockie. Great to be here. Couldn't imagine anyone better to be stuck with right now commentating on some Heads Up poker.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you in here with me. We're looking like we're going to see you guys out for the rest of the Heads Up. We've got Naj here opening the 8-5 suited, and we've got Luke Heads Up. Pretty cool spot to be Heads Up in a 10K head.
Pretty hectic spot. See Najim opening 3x. See if he's doing that regularly. I think these guys are quite deep, I guess. Hey, like.
Yeah, plenty of play.
Bigs.
Plenty of play. It looks over about 60, 70 bigs effective. And we just see check, and Naj just drills it on the turn.
Is that a straight? That looks like a straight.
That'd be a Stratos. But Luke still has hope. He's got a pair, and got the king high flush draw.
3 bets, 150,000.
So Luke will probably peel this one.
Calls. Heads up.
Man, what a cool feeling playing Heads Up for a title. And the repeat 9.
7 checks.
I mean, it's very hard to make a pair in Hold'em, let alone playing Heads Up. So we'll see what size Naj goes for here. Looks like he's going to go big. Very big.
3 bets, 900,000.
Wow, it's over bet.
Massive. So he's going to go 1.5x pot.
Be pretty sick if Luke was to raise his hand, hey.
It's a pretty cool one to do.
It's easier said from the commentary booth than when you're out there in the streets.
I don't know. Does that look like a raising pose to you, Adam?
All in.
I don't know. That kind of looks like I'm in the blender face. I got a big decision. Dean Stacey says, yeah, the boys, let's go. Good to have you with us here, Dean. Pleasure to be back in the commentary to see this one out.
Very hard to fold these hands. You got the king of clubs blocker.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty strong hand, Heads Up.
Yeah, he's going to call it off. And Naj is going to win a really nice pot here. Take him to a 3-1 chip lead.
It's a huge pot.
Absolutely. He's now got 76.
He's rubbing his hands together. Look at him. He knows what this pot means to the tournament.
He's now got 76% of the chips in play. It's a pretty nice spot to be.
Hey, you know them. I had him first. No, I had him first over here. Then I gave him to you in the Kings vs 9 10.
How's your week been going, Adam? What's been happening in the...
Nothing good to report on the felt, unfortunately. Just been getting absolutely showered, if I'm honest. But we're in day 2 of the main event tomorrow. We've got a bit of a stack, so LFG.
Yep. That's the good thing about poker, right? We can get showered all series, and all we need is one tournament at the end to save the series.
Just takes one.
So hopefully that can be you tomorrow, Adam. All the best for tomorrow.
What about you, Lockie? Have you had you had a pretty good run in the Goliath, right? Came 3rd.
Yeah, that's right. Came 3rd in the Goliath. Obviously wanted to win, but can't complain with the score. Also have a bag. Also have the bag in the main, so I'm not going to let you in, but if you do, I'd love to see it. So we're going to see Luke complete. Looks like they got some different strategies Heads Up.
Is this a limped pot?
Yeah, so he completes from the button, and Naj checks back. Naj is going to lead about 40%. And that's going to take it down.
7 folds.
Yeah, it's very interesting with Heads Up, Adam. You know, people have different styles. It's a bit more streets poker. Typically off deeper depths, there's a bit more opening, and then as you get shallower, you see a lot more limping strategy. But it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategies these two, you know, apply playing at different stack depths as well.
Yeah.
Craig says OG street heads up poker. And that's right, there's a lot of street stuff heads up. Dean Stacey says over or under 50 hands before Najima just wins. Lol. I don't know. I don't think Luke's going to let him take it down easy. He's been a good competitor this FT. He's stuck in there.
Do we know where Luke Edwards is from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Anyone following Luke Edwards in the stream or the chat, please let us know where he's from. Oh, Naj just flops bottom set. Luckily, Luke hasn't really connected with this one.
3 bets, 1, 2, 5.
Oh, you lucky boy. Oof.
Oh.
Look at this. No pairs. You got 4, 5 clubs. Better. No.
Oh my.
Are you loving the look with the shades, Adam? Naj rocking the shades.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looks quite shady.
We were told earlier in the stream a few hours ago that he's actually wearing them because he's got conjunctivitis, so he's more so protecting the other players, which is good of Naj. But it's also a pretty sick look too.
From a lucky seat?
Yeah, pretty gangster.
Did they actually do that?
Yeah, actually moved you from the lucky.
Craig Abernathy says under 50 is $1.10. Bit of love for Naj in the chat.
I requested that.
Luke still has 40 big blinds. There's still a lot of play, but we've seen Naj is I haven't seen that much of him playing so far, but it looks like he's going to be putting a lot of pressure on Luke.
At least neither of us have the hex.
Using big sizes and opening aggressively from the button, not making it easy for Luke to see.
Yeah, it looks like Luke's playing more a low variance style, limping heads up. Bit of interaction from both of these players on this board. It's gone check, bet, call, turn ace. King, Queen, Ajax says, Najim can't miss, bro. Yeah, he's definitely been, you know, getting hands and connecting well, but he's also playing well too. There's check, check on the turn.
3 bets, 200,000. 7 fold.
Big size there from third pair. King Queen Ajax says, come on Luke, let's go. Bit of love for Luke in the chat.
Look. Wow. Whoa. Should we look at any? Yeah, none. Which one? This one? Yeah. Oh, no.
So I've just done a bit of research. I think Luke Edwards is from Geelong.
It's from Melbourne boy.
I've never actually played with him before, but he's got a lot of results spanning over the last decade.
So he's been around a while.
Definitely a very experienced player. I've had a lot of success as well. He won the 5K WSOPC circuit high roller event in Sydney for 277K back in 2016.
So he's been around a while. Craig Abernathy says the previous elite commentators Didier and Angel said Luke is OG Victorian. Maybe the awesome production can bring up his Hendon.
Someone who was at this table.
And Adam's just gone through his Hendon just then. He's been around a while, got some very good results, very experienced. So he's definitely been in spots like this before, as is Naj. So we're definitely in for a good battle to finish this off.
I think it's okay.
Anytime everyone does this score,
So it's gone complete with the Jack-6 suited and a check back from the 10-4.
Like, honestly, I thought we'd be done before I even arrived here. Like,
it's been going
my stuff and started on Wednesday. And I'm like, I should be good by Sunday.
Both interact with the board.
And interacting with each other as well. They're just talking stories while they're playing heads up for this, all the money. I feel like I'd be pretty locked in right now if I was in their shoes.
Yeah, they're definitely got a more of a home game kind of atmosphere, but they're playing for a lot of money. And that Naj just drills the turn. Pretty sick.
Quick check as well. definitely a lot of variance and heads up. You know, like one person's just going to hit everything more than the other person, and really good chance to run away with it. We'll see if Naj raises here or just slow plays it.
3 raise. 500.
He's gone for the raise. With the flush draw out there and the straight possibilities. I mean, you can't fold now, really, if you're Luke.
Absolutely not.
So this is just going to...
Definitely feel like we're going to see a river here.
Wow. Great fold by Luke.
Wow. That's actually very, very classy. I got that one wrong. Thought probably would be seeing a river there, but that's very, very disciplined by Luke to get away from that one.
Shaky.
Well done.
I don't know how he made that fold, really not giving Naj the credit to have enough bluffs there, I guess, or the straight already having completed and a turn trips. He knows he's going to have to face a bet on the river, I guess, a lot of the time. So
Thanks, Chad. See you, mate. Good night, Chad.
he just wanted to get away, I guess. That's the way these guys are playing heads up, and
3 calls.
we're in the commentary booth.
And we're chilling in the commentary booth after a couple of drinks. These guys are very, very good players. Obviously deserve to come to this position that they're in.
Seven checks. 3 bets, 50,000.
Once again, Naj getting the better of the board. Really just running away with it now.
Well, there's a lot of momentum in heads up, and it's very easy to win a lot of hands in a row. How would you say your heads up game is, Adam?
I'd say it's always interesting whenever I play heads up against someone, because it really varies a lot depending on who you're playing against. I find that the way I play, it like changes drastically depending on who my opponent is.
Absolutely.
And there's always a lot of lessons that you can learn after a heads-up match. I find there's a lot of takeaways that I learn from.
Yeah, I'd find, a lot of people say that heads up is, quote unquote, the purest form of poker, because you're playing one-on-one with someone, and you really got to figure out people's, tendencies and what they're doing in different textures, and you can really get on top of people. And everyone plays, a different style, so it can definitely be an interesting dynamic playing heads up. A lot different to, your normal full ring.
7 calls.
Interesting to see Luke check back the flop here. Feels like he's really taking a lower variance approach now that he's dwindling down a bit.
I feel like Luke might go for some value here. But he will check it back.
Yeah, like that.
Sorry,
I think he should be betting that river.
Guess he just doesn't want to bet and face a raise. So we'll just take the low variance route and take down the pot.
Yeah.
Dylan James Hunter says, go Najima Jez. 5K high roller champ and soon to be 10K TLPT champ. A lot of love for Naj in the chat.
Disqualified.
Mate, I literally have about 1,000 messages to catch up on.
Yeah, lockbox, one of them, lockbox.
Basically, yeah. Basically.
raise, 150,000.
Again, Najim going for the 3x opening size, even now that we see Luke is sub 30.
7 calls.
Just really putting a lot of pressure on Luke.
Still plenty of play. Luke being 30 bigs effective. So the queen, queen 3.
7 check. 3 bets, 100,000. 7 calls.
And the Najim will take it down. They do say position is powerful, Adam.
Checks. What's up? Three checks. Seven bets, 50,000. 3 folds.
So it looks like they've guaranteed $168,000 so far. So it's just your casual $82,000 heads-up battle. Not only for the trophy, but a bit of money as well. The prestige of the 10K TLPT challenge.
3 folds.
Nah, not looking at any. I'm still tilting from that ace.
Did you scan it on the scanner there?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
You should scan it so later on.
Oh, someone's like, you had aces that time. No, it's folded.
Just for the viewers at home.
I think that's the first time we've seen Naj give up the button. Just open folded 10 deuce off. No love for Doyle Brunson.
Just small one.
Yeah, maybe he's not just taking like the bottom 5% of his range. I guess like he's not taking 100%. Maybe dropping off the 8 deuce, the 7 deuce, maybe the 9-3. Maybe opening about 90%.
No, I already
95%.
asked. It's too late.
Well, you can't redo that anymore.
No. Finished like an hour or 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Yep, looks like Luke's going to continue with the
No,
limping
currently
strat.
5, and late range
Interesting to
only
see if
4 hours. It's a lot less
Naj
late range.
ISOs this one. It's definitely a play you'll see at deeper stacks, and he will.
3 raise, 200,000.
We see Luke call this one as well. Very nice hand that plays well post flop.
7 calls, 200. Heads up.
Oh, wow.
Just Naj outflops him again. Well, they were saying he was running pretty good. And he's definitely outflopped him again.
Three bets, 165,000.
We expect Luke just to call this one as well in position. See how he navigates the spot.
What kind of turn card do we want to see? Some action.
Yeah, maybe a jack.
Jack and Rooney.
Jack would be a cool card to see.
7 calls.
Maybe something that gives him a sweat. Maybe a 7.
Heads up.
Up, just a brick.
Action.
Just a clean turn for Naj. See what size Naj goes for. Be interesting to see how Luke navigates this spot after we saw him fold the top pair against the check raise. Now that Naj is double barreled, half pot.
Quite unfortunate for Luke because he just seems to keep getting in these very marginal spots where the next street is going to be all in for his tournament
Yep,
life.
and he'll just get away
and
again.
he gets away again, just like before with the Jack-6, another really good fold. Results-oriented good fold, but...
I mean, a lot of the time, you're meant to cool down quite a lot.
Yeah.
In heads-up play, it's hard to make pairs. Got to cool down light a lot. But he's navigating very well. He's made 2 very good folds. And it's very easy to level yourself as well. You know, when Naja just keeps winning pot, and pots are not going to showdown as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I was wondering how Luke's feeling right now, because I know when you're in this kind of position when you keep having to fold and you think that the person that you're playing heads up against is just like messing around with you and just like, you know, does he actually have it? And Naja's actually had it every time, and Luke's been making the right fold, but Luke wouldn't know that until he sees it back on the stream, you know.
You're too big, mate.
Gotta keep the chips flowing.
Find that sometimes when I play on stream and someone's 3-bet you like, you know, 2 or 3 times in a row, and you start to think, this person messing around. And then you go back home and you watch a stream and they just have it every time.
Yeah, I've definitely had a few heads-up matches like that, where I felt like people are running me over and finally taking a stand.
I think there's a chance we'll see all in here.
Potentially. He's been playing pretty low variance though, so
very enticing against the 3x open. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, this is going to go
I think Naja's just going to call this one as well, for sure.
Come on. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been... Just wasn't sure with Luke playing that low variance style, but I'm not surprised to see this one go in. You know, Naja's been 3xing a lot, and that plays well post-flop, even if he's called against, you know, a low ace-x. And this is for the title. Rickers 10 says Scorpion fatality incoming.
Hold, baby, just for this bamboo here. Just have to get it.
But yeah, if Naj can fade, he will be our 10K TLPT champion. So we're going to see 5. Rickers 10 says hold.
King queen. I'm behind. I need a hit. I need a hit.
Wow.
That's a lot of AR.
Don't do it, don't do it.
That is a lot of AR.
Red.
It is a jack.
Jack on the turn.
But open-ended now for Naj.
Yeah, straight through.
The river is a 4.
And Luke will double up.
The show goes on.
They're stuck with us a little longer, Adam. But absolutely going to continue enjoying the show. King Queen Alex says, come on, Jack 9, go the clubs. Rickers 10 says, no justice.
Frustrating feeling surely for Naj when you're so close to the win. You're like 65% favorite to take the 10K trophy and all the money. Now you know your opponent's back in the game and you got to grind him back down again with 40 big blind stack, you know.
Yeah, and that'll actually feel good for Luke, like on a mental side of things. You know, you feel like you're getting run over a little bit. You've had to make fold after fold, and just to get a flip back into the game, it will definitely give you some confidence.
Ago and I had Queen Ace Jack suited.
Craig Abernathy says hold. Fortunately for Naj, he wasn't able to, and they're going to have to battle on a little longer.
Small blind, please.
Disqualified. It's on me. Okay.
Hold. $200. C3 raise 200.
So Luke's now just sub 50 bigs. Be interesting to see if he's gonna change up his style or he's gonna go the low variance route now, being a bit deeper, but he's gonna complete again. Looks like he's still playing the limping strat. Naj looks like
Naj has other ideas.
Looks like he's got his raising face on.
3 bets, 125.
Oh, hold on. We already had a flop. Us. All right, we just got pre-flop. So Luke min clicks and Naj defends.
Naj donked.
And Naj led the flop, and Luke called. All right, just a bit of graphical error. Troy says, "Come on, Naj, get better and hold." It's definitely an art in that, being able to hold. So we're going to see a river after Luke checks back. You can see the 7 of diamonds.
See 3 bets, 180.
That's about third pot. And Naj will take it down. Yeah, very interesting donk there on the King Jack 10. You know, usually that's the sort of texture you're going to see from, you know, the PFR. You know, Naj is going to be 3-betting those hands, even like King 10 suited, Jack 10 suited, King 10 suited, you know, maybe even King Jack O at a frequency. He's going to 3-bet Ace Queen, Aces. So yeah, very interesting donk into the PFR, but you know, he'll take down the hand. Bit unorthodox, but yeah, definitely not going to question the great man himself. He knows what he's doing. He's been in these spots a lot of times.
Let's go with the Jack 3 off. No love for the Jack 3 off. It'd be nice to see Luke get a little bit more aggressive than he said that much, I think. Like,
it'll be interesting.
Just to shake things up a bit,
interesting
try and
to know.
rattle Naj a bit, maybe start opening a bit more on the button.
Well, he definitely came in the race with the Ace-2, and sub 40 he was more limping, so maybe that is deeper. He's going to start going to a raising strategy.
Did he raise the Ace-2 or did he?
Yeah, no, he did.
Oh, he raised it?
Yeah. And he's coming in here with the complete with the 8-2-0. You know, usually we'd fold this one, but looks like he's going to be playing 100% of range.
Really good flop for Naj.
Yeah, massive flop for Naj. Yeah, it looks like Luke's going to be targeting some 10 highs, maybe some Jack highs with no backdoors. Obviously, he's running straight into it.
Raise 225.
And this will take it down. Straight back to business for Naj after doubling up Luke.
Raise 150. Player cold.
And Naj continues to outflop Luke again. Gonna flop middle pair here on the 10-5-4, 2 spades, 1 heart. It's gonna go check, check. Looks like Naj is just gonna protect his checking back range, checking back middle pair. Yep, King's a good card for his range. Also try and get some value out of some draws. You know, some backdoor hearts, some open-enders. So Luke's going to go back to the limping strat again and get outflopped again.
3 checks.
Must be so frustrating for Luke.
It's going to go check, check.
Not
It's definitely
connecting with any board and up against such a tough opponent who can put pressure on.
He's probably going to go check, check again. Luke's trying to try and get his king high down to showdown. He's going to hit bottom pair.
That's 200.
Another tough decision.
Luke just keeps getting in these spots, doesn't he?
Yeah, just checks it down until he finally makes the pair on the river and then gets overbet.
Tell you what, Luke's definitely grinding away. He's been put in some tough spots in this heads up from what we've seen. King Queen IX says Luke is literally getting fisted, man. And yep, and he'll call this one down. Sometimes you just gotta see it, don't you, Adam?
Gotta see it.
Sometimes you gotta keep him honest.
Needed to win that finish up. Come on.
Back down to 30 bigs. Gonna need to win the pot.
Qualified. Qualified. King, queen. 1 million. Jack raise suited.
So Naj's got the natural 9, a 6-3-0.
Option. C3 calls.
Thinking about getting frisky here with 10-4 off. Nice. Bit of aggression. Luke. I guess Naj hasn't been limping too much on the button, so...
Yeah, for sure. Maybe saw an opportunity. Also as well, in four-ring, you know, when you're BVB, someone limps into you, you're going to be ISOing a lot of your trash, you know, your high-low, your queen-2-0s, maybe your 10-3-0s, your 10-4-0s, and...
It's way faster like this thing.
You know, those hands that are disconnected and don't play too well post-flop, so well navigated there by Luke. First real time that we've seen both people not connect with the flop and Luke not being outflopped.
3 checks.
I think Luke's going to try and check this one down again, even though the king's pretty good. Or he might bet as well. It's, you know, it's a good card for him, definitely. He's going to check a lot of king highs back. Maybe target some better queen highs that Naj might be trying to take down. I can definitely see both arguments. You know, trying to get out better queen highs without a diamond, or he can try and just check down queen highs, maybe against like jack highs, you know. So definitely can see both sides.
Ooh, not looking at that one.
So Naj still has a 4-1 chip lead at the moment. Pretty nice place to be heads up, but you know, with both players being so deep, one double up, Luke's well in the game. Still playing 35 bigs effective, which is a lot of play.
Raise 200,000.
I should probably take this one down.
7 calls.
Craig Abernathy says, come on, Naj, run like Troy McLean. Bit of love for you in the chat, Troy. Good to see you joining us. Shame you're not here with us in Sydney, but hope you're going well.
Three race, 150,000.
I could run a runner here. Could have made run a runner.
Has happened before.
First off.
Interesting to see what Luke did here. Off a similar stack depth. You know, he raised the ace 2-0, just min clicked. Now he's going to complete 30 effective. It's more of 40 effective that he min clicked. Very interesting here because Luke has a hand that can definitely go post flop, but you can also see 30 effective. This is where he can start limp jamming of this stack depth. He's been playing a low variance route, so he might just call, but you can definitely start seeing some limp jams. Obviously, he'd be behind, but Naj is not just ISOing, you know, pocket sixes and above, and Naj is just going to flop a set. Wow.
3 bets, 150,000.
Now I think Luke will definitely have to peel one. He can definitely beat some, you know, some ISOs like Queen 8 suited, Queen 9 suited, 10 9 suited. Definitely has a mandatory to peel one. If Nash continues here, it's going to be hard for Luke to continue.
Three checks.
Wow, this is very tricky by Naj. Very, very tricky.
Players in the National Championships Flight D. Your blinds are now going up to 1,200, 2,400 with a 2,400 big blind ante. That's 12.
Wow, he's just gonna. This is actually a really bad card for Luke.
Of the evening. This is now level 12. We will be bagging at the end of level 13.
Interesting to see what size Naj goes with here, but you know, with the repeat,
I feel like he has another check here.
I think you can't afford to let him check back with his showdown. So it's either milky or huge. And when Luke says he doesn't have a lot, usually it's a bigger sizing. So he's effectively put Luke to the test for his tournament life. This is a really uncomfortable spot for Luke because he definitely has a decision to make. You know, Naj, the thing is here, Naj is definitely going to slow down when, you know, he's got a hand like 2 queens or 2 jacks, or even when he turns the 9 with like a 10-9 suited that might ISO. But would he really go this greedy on the river? You know, Luke's, you know, limp called and it's gone check, so he definitely has quite a bit of 6x in his range. So it's pretty uncomfortable because he's not, Naj isn't doing this with a middling pair.
Yeah, it's extremely polarizing.
Yeah. And it's a really tricky line, you know, the bet, check, bet.
Smells a little bluffy over here, Naj.
Exactly. Luke's thinking it Doesn't smell right, does it?
3 with a 6. A 6 is a good hand.
6 is a good hand.
A 6 is a very good hand on this board. He's just got to think, what sort of 6s ISO pre? You know, is he ISOing?
And he blocks A6 as well.
He does. You know, when we're playing heads up, he can definitely ISO, you know, 7-6 suited, 8-6 suited. You know, even some high middle as well. Yeah, some Queen 6-0. That could definitely slow down on the turn once protection on the flop.
Fluff is good for the game.
It's very nice by Luke. I think that was very well played by Naj as well.
Yeah, I like that turn check.
You were going to bluff me, but you forgot to bet the turn, or?
I thought I had the best hand.
So you had the best. So you were going to bluff on the flop. On the turn, you thought you had the best hand.
I thought I had the best hand on the flop, the turn, and the river. That's why I thought about it for so
That's why
long.
you were tanking yourself.
Pretty funny when you're sitting there with quads and someone says they think they have the best hand.
I didn't
So
have
Naj, either we've got a graphic error or Naj has got the exact same two cards again.
I hadn't really qualified.
I like
No
this
pair
complete by
either.
Naj.
No pair, no trips. No pair, no trips.
This is
I mean,
very
I
nice.
still lose to some of those hands. You just have a better. You just have the ace-8 and I lose.
You know, when you start getting these 20 bigs effective, you can start actually, and he just flopped the boat.
What is going on?
Now I'm tilted.
Holy moly. Yeah, when we start getting to these, you know, sub 20 to 20 big blind marks, you know, you start seeing definitely a lot more limps and a lot more, you know, ISO jams, even for 20. Especially from hands that don't play too well post-flop. You know, like your ace 3-0s, your ace 4-0s, you know, your king 8-0s, stuff like that. So, I like that Naj is putting in the 6s as a trap. Craig Abernathy says, reminded me of Adrian Attenborough in the WSOP in the blender. Cool to watch. Famous hand with Adrian, where he's in the tank for 14 minutes. Awesome to see an Aussie do well in the WSOP.
3 bets, 75. Leave like that, please.
Luke back down to 20 bigs. Gonna need to find a double soon. Gonna have no choice but to get it in.
Seven holes.
It'll be interesting to see if, you know, with the completes, if Naj starts jamming over some of the limps. Obviously not with this sort of middling holding, but more so with, you know, the King X block or the Ace X block. You can definitely mix with what you're doing, you know.
Seven bets, 100.
Luke's going to take this one down.
Folds the gut shot.
You like that one, huh?
Yep. Break?
Break. Close your break now.
Sorry. You want a break?
Yep.
Neither of us are. Neither of us are allowed in.
Just shuffle up and do whenever you're ready. Thanks, Princess. Appreciate it.
Hiya. Hiya.
Double checking button is number 3.
We're going to sort back over here.
30, 60, 1,000 blinds. Your big blind, please. 60K. Good luck, guys.
Thanks. 30-60?
Yes. First up match.
You have one left, right? One? Yeah, I got one of these. Sorry, I'm not sure what I have. I think I have like 18 things. Wait, I'm gonna...
All right, we're back from the break.
Option.
I'm Lachlan and I'm joined here by Adam.
Cards are in the air.
Here to take you out for the heads up of the 10K TLPT. Well, very nice hand here by Luke. Interesting is to see if he's going to raise and juice or he's just going to jam the 20 bigs. Well, actually sub 20 now. Blinds have gone up to 30, 60, 60. So he's got about 15s, well, just over, about 16 and a half big blinds, and he's going to take it down. Something we're going to see a bit more. We're going to see some limp traps. We're going to see some open jamming over limps. We're going to even see some open jamming into the big blind. Because there's definitely a lot of incentive, you know, with the big blind ante. Take down the big blind and the big blind ante.
What do you think about that jam? I feel like I would have liked to see him take a post flop if he was to raise, not all in.
I think it completely depends on how many 3-bet bluffs you think Naj is going to have in his range. It's definitely a good hand. I think it's definitely one. It's a pretty nice one to raise and juice. Probably want to take ones that don't, I agree, ones that don't play well, like ace 7-0, ace 8-0.
Yep.
But the ace 10 suited's a pretty nice one to... Yeah, see, I actually like this by Luke as well.
Yeah, like this hand, ace too soft doesn't play as well post flop, and we just kind of want to, you know, this is the sort of one I think we want to jam in. But
yeah, the
ace 10 suited just seems like such a lot of hand, you know.
I agree, because Naj can definitely complete, you know, limp jam against Luke with worse holdings. You know, he can still be trapping hands like ace 8 suited.
He's like, just go
you know?
in every hand.
I definitely agree with you there, and I like this open jam by
lost a flip, and that
by Luke with the ace 2-0. You know, get Naj to fold a hand with 40% equity, deny some equity with a hand that doesn't play that well post flop. Naj is going to have a very strong holding here, heads up. 2 8s. Damien Jackson says, is it over or just the break? Well, the cards are back in the air. We're in the booth with you, Damien. It's definitely not over yet.
Can we go through in a row? Huh?
I was trying to fit a trap there with pocket 8s.
Yeah, definitely like this.
I mean, it could have.
It definitely gets very interesting of these stack depths and the sort of board textures as well. You know, Luke's not going to have a lot of ace-x in his range when he checks back of this sort of stack depth.
Yep.
So there's definitely going to be a lot more hero calling that you see, a lot more floating. See, Luke is going to call the queen high here, which is definitely going to be headed at some times. You know, Naj is going to be betting this sort of board. And there's a chance here Luke's going to think he's ahead with queen high. Don't think he's going to bet. He's probably trying to take this hand to showdown. Interesting to see if he does bet though. He's unsure. See what he does. Yeah, he's going to check. Probably going to think his queen high is good. Definitely it. And Naj.
3 bets, 120,000.
Naj is going to go some value with pocket 8s. You know, target a deuce. And you definitely see that more and more in heads up, those, you know, thin value bets. Really targeting things. You know, Naj targets some king highs, some deuce X.
A donation to the.
And he's
the
going to pay it
fund of
off as well.
Naj.
Look at that. Great bit of value from Naj.
Extremely
Pocket
well
age.
played by Naj
And
there.
even to the speech.
I was waiting for you to jam. Jam it in, mate.
Now that's very nice by Naj. You know, those things sort of add up the more and more you're playing heads up, those thin value bets. He's going to extend his chip lead here, heads up.
What percent you got?
Luke's got a very nice holding here on the button. Playing about 16 bigs effective. Now Luke can even like limp trap here. His hand's that strong, even though it's queen high. Be interesting to see if he goes with an open jam or the complete as a trap.
All in.
He will open jam. And he's going to get this one through.
Suited. So was I.
So 3 out of 4 you jam. The one I want you to jam, you check.
Hey mate, I called you down with queen high.
You good call.
So you've done well.
Me.
It's always good to see the boys having a bit of fun when they're playing for a lot of money, heads up.
Pair of some kind.
Okay, or non-showdown, right?
Very strong holding here on the button. Naj with the king-9 suited. Craig saying Adrian Sportelli being loosey-goosey, eating a sandwich in the background.
Definitely can see that from Adrian. Big
Very,
man.
yeah, we can see him there in the background, munching on a sandwich.
Sevenfold.
Gotta love Sportelli. Always fun to have on the tables and around.
One of the legends of the game. Definitely want him around and on your table as well.
Are you saying that Sportelli likes to donate chips at him?
No, I'm just saying he's got a really good character, and I just love when he's playing on my table.
Sportelli's a great guy.
All in.
Jams, queen,
Jam
six,
and queen
diamond.
6 suited, and this one's going to get through.
The first one's good, the second one's very bad. Just need the second one to be close to the first one.
Feels like it's only a matter of time before we're going to see another all-in.
Now these sort of holdings are pretty nice to see an open jam here. Let's see what Naj does.
Playing this
And
game,
he's,
hey?
he's going to play.
Wanna play this game? We can
Yep, he's going to open
I'm
jam.
forced to.
These sort of
Look,
hands
he's
that don't
giving
play
me
well
double up,
post
he
flop,
changes
but are
the
going to be ahead
I
a
love
lot.
an aces and this is a pink slow roll. Not good, not good. Ooh, even worse.
Yeah, I like this by Naj. He's going to take it down.
Six, 7, 8, 11.
Deuces.
Now these sort of hands are actually better as an open jam rather than limp trapping. We were talking about pairs, you know, completing as a
The
trap.
game is on. All in.
But with a hand that doesn't play that well post flop, it's a nice one to open jam, and this is going to get
Ace
called.
queen, here we go.
So this is for the title.
We're flipping for the championship.
Deuces, bro.
Couple of premiums.
Deuces.
Deuces.
As in see you later.
Unlucky Nash.
They say the smaller the pair, the more equity it has against ace king, ace queen type holding. So
Put an ace, yeah.
Deuces
Ace
looking
for a
like
sweat,
70% favorite
Ace
here.
for a sweat, let's go.
Wait a second.
Ace of spades, let's go.
Can't call suits, that's crazy.
With pocket twos up against Nanjan's pocket.
Pure coin flip here. Will Naj be able to take out the 10K challenge, or will Luke be able to double up?
Ace of spades!
Ace in the window. Luke's going to need some help.
Wrong, pre-celebration, he's gone. No. Pre-celebration.
Nine of spades on the turn.
Drawing the two out.
And Naj will take down the 10K TLPT championship.
Well played, sir.
Congratulations to both gentlemen. Well done, Najima Jez taking down the 10K. But also to Luke, very nice run, a very good payday. Havayana Mitchell said called 2-2 last night. Well done, Naj. Always an incredible feeling winning a tournament.
Well done, mate.
And not just any tournament. 10K challenge
10K.
at APT Bankstown.
Very prestigious event. He's going to absolutely be on the moon with that result. Well done, Naj, and well done to Luke as well. All right, we're all done for tonight. Been a pleasure being in the booth with you guys to give you the action in the 10K.
Yeah, it's been fun.
All right, thank you guys. Well done, Naj, and thank you.
GG.
Can I have built my little tower thing?
No, do you want to? Do not. Who's that card? Yep. That's for Najim. That's for Luke.
As the boys leave the booth, I want to thank them on behalf of the Australian Poker Tour. They've done a great job the last little bit commentating this 10K. Congratulations to Naj. We'll be back tomorrow for the final day of what's been an amazing week here at the Bankstown Sports Club. Keep an eye out for our stream. It's the main event to close things off. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to Naj. We'll see you tomorrow.
Are you racing at the moment? Good.
Can I build my own little sack thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
You can do that.
It'll take a little bit of time, but
Yeah.
definitely has to be done.
You deserve that.
After
thing.
that, yeah, get this out of the way a little bit.
You deserve that thing.
So we're good.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's she doing?
How many stacks we got? We have enough stacks.
He's gonna be able to go on that path.
Thank you. I did it. The spiral got there. I'm gonna make a spiral now. Yeah. A little while, but it won't be too long. We're all here already anyway. Has to be done. Has to be done.
Has to be done.
Has to be done.
We're very impressed with whatever you said.
This is his.
That's his.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, where? Let's.
I think on the other side of it, right?
Pardon?
On the photo, you Queen 9.
flop?
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
Thank you, though. Big comeback from when I saw Luke's massive stack in front of him. Well done.
Yes, thank you. I got him. I got the champ.
You can use your engineering skills in there.
Yeah. Has to be done. Has to be done.
Did you see my post about it?
Yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed